Hello, football fans, and welcome into Starlight Stadium for today's Week 6 BCFC action between the Okanagan Sun and the West Shore Rebels. Alongside Jay Longpre, I'm Tyler Bennett. Thank you for joining us. And Jay, this is a true clash of the Titans between these two teams. They've met in the BCFC final the last 3 seasons. What do you think is going to happen today when these two giants clash?
Oh, if I knew that, I'd have wagers going on. But no, it's kind of a two-tier BCFC at the moment, and these two are amongst the top 4. Like, somebody's going to leave here today 3-2. Someone's going to leave here today 4-1. That's what they're playing against. They finally get a chance after a few weeks of playing against the teams that are kind of in the bottom tier. Now the coaches get to find out, are we really that good? And what do we have to work on? Because this is they're game 5. It's only a 10-week season. So you got to figure out today where you're at. So that's why I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a tremendous battle.
Let's talk about the West Shore Rebels. They've been on the road the last 3 weeks. In the last 2 games against the Valley Huskers, and the Kamloops Broncos, bit of a runaway game. So how do you make sure, if you're the Rebels, you come out of this game ready to go in that first quarter?
Oh, I'm assuming that Connor Bryan and his coaching staff have said, hey, we finally get to sleep in our own bed. We don't have to get on the ferry. We don't have to ride a bus all day. No excuses. And whenever you get out of the crowd, you're probably going to have to feed them the crowd early and hope they get on your side. So I think the first quarter is real important, because Okanagan's probably going to come off the bus and go, all right, let's just survive the first quarter, and then the last 3, now we're going to find out who the better teams are. So you're at home, take advantage of it.
Yeah, and lastly, the Okanagan Sun, a bit of an interesting situation with them right now at quarterback. They've got Marcus Christos and Liam Kruger, who led the league in passing, kind of playing a 50-50, 60-40 split. Do you think that's going to work in the long term for them?
Well, again, it depends on can the Rebels slow down the running game, because the Rebels lead the BCFC in interceptions with 12 after 4 games. So if you can force them to throw the ball, then I like the Rebels they're going to dominate. If the Sun can run the ball, then that changes what the Sun's coaching staff does and who they want the ball, who's running the offense. So that's really what it comes down to, and that's why that first quarter to me is real important.
It's going to be a good one. You're going to be alongside Jay and me here on TELUS Optic and BCFC TV. We'll be right back right before kickoff. And here we are at Starlight Stadium. We're just getting the final things put together here before we're here for kickoff. And Jay, let's just quickly talk. This is a highly touted matchup, as you said before, and these two teams, boy, they look ready to go.
A lot of enthusiasm down below, as you would expect. Again, the league is kind of in 2 tiers right now, and the top 4 teams in the league are playing against one another today, because in Nanaimo right now, the VI Raiders are getting ready to play against the first place Langley Rams, and the other 2 teams that are 3-1 are right here at Starlight Stadium. That's the Sun and the Rebels. So we basically have a mini playoff weekend going here in the BCFC. Very exciting.
So I believe the Rebels have elected to receive here, and so that's where we stand. It looks like the Sun are going to kick off, going from right to left. And Jay, I'm sure the people at home can tell, but it is a windy day up here in the broadcast booth, so we apologize if half of our voices sound like wind. It's because we're in the middle of a Category 4 hurricane up here in the broadcast booth.
Well, and yet when we look down on the field, the flags behind the Rebels aren't moving. So we'll see when the ball gets in the air if that actually affects the kicking game. And Okanagan's going to kick off from Grady Hay to start things off here today. Up here, chaos. Down there, controlled chaos. That's football.
So we are just about underway. Both these teams 3-1 on the season, and this game has huge playoff implications as we get into the second half of the season. Here comes the kick, and we are away in Week 6. That's Ephraim Fisher, who has a bit of trouble with the kickoff, and now he's going to try and return up the right side, and he's going to be brought down just near the 22-yard line, and that's where the Rebels offense will take over.
Well, the Rebels come in number 4 out of 7 teams as far as points are concerned, and the Sun come in number 4 with points against. So again, it's really going to be about who can get what going first, because Okanagan number 2 in offense and Rebels number 2 on defense. So which strength is going to take over early in this game. And I think the first quarter for the Rebels is real important, playing their first home game in a month.
Cancellari under center, takes the snap, looking to his left. Here's an out route to Josh Nevin. It's complete. He's got to make some room now with the screen, and he is going to be brought down very early, as that was number 20, Ayman Rahim, making the tackle. Not much gain there, and it's going to be second down and long.
That's a long throw from Cancellari, and it hangs up a little bit, and so Okanagan able to converge quickly, and a solid tackle, bringing up second down. And
so a lot of work to do here. It's second and call it 6 here for this Rebels offense, looking to move the chains and get a first down deep in their own territory. And we'll see what offensive coordinator Rob Lervold has in his bag of tricks here. Receivers in motion. Cancellari takes the snap, takes a look. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to dump this off to Zion Brown. He makes the completion, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, but is going to be tripped down. And I think he is short of the first down marker, so that means the punt team is going to have to come out. It's a 2 and out for the Rebels' first offensive drive.
Well, that was a very handsy tackle, because if that's missed, Zion Brown is still running. He made the first man miss. As we take a look here, first man misses, bing, but then getting the hand in, and that saves Okanagan defensively on this first series.
So Jordan Krantz out to kick this one away. And it's a good kick. It's on Okanagan territory. And here comes the Okanagan return, as there's a little bit of a seam to the outside here. Good return by the Sun, and he is finally going to be pushed out of bounds by the punter. But that's a great return by Gage Parker. And just like that, the Sun are in West Shore territory for their first offensive drive.
Yeah, doesn't look necessarily like your prototypical punt return man in any league, but he ran up, made a solid catch, and then he was off. And it was well blocked by Okanagan. So the Rebels defense, again, number 2 in the league as far as points allowed, and number 1 in interceptions, but they're going to be put to the test here early by Liam Kroger.
So Liam Kruger under center, and it's going to be a handoff to Jackson Allen. Flags do fly, and Jackson Allen going to have a gain of about 6, but we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is here, because this play might be coming back.
Jackson Allen is the leading rusher through 4 games in the BCFC. The penalty was against the Rebels.
And we're just waiting for clarification from the officials, but Jackson Allen, as you said, leading the league in rushing with 420 yards and 8 touchdowns. He leads the BCFC in both those categories. So the Sun have been a very good ground team, but you can't count out their air game as well, as they've got a lot of weapons on the outside as well. So with that penalty, it makes it 1st and 5, so a free 5 yards here for the Sun. And the ball at the 26-yard line here. And that's where Liam Kruger will take over. Again, we mentioned in the pregame a bit of a weird situation with the quarterbacks right now in Okanagan, but Kruger's going to start this one as he takes the snap. It's a quick throw and nearly intercepted, as Caleb Ahiram was right there, but it's in and out of the hands. That would have been a huge moment for this West Shore defense.
That would have been a baker's dozen for the season. It was right there in his hands. He read the play well. He stepped in and just got a little excited. And you can see by his reaction, he knew he had a lot of turf in front of him if he hangs on. Still a good defensive play, but when you're leading the league in picks, when you get them, you got to take them against a very good offensive team like the Okanagan Sun.
Caleb Ahiram was the CJFL Defensive Player of the Week last week with a 107-yard pick-6 return, and Jackson Allen on second down tries to go up the middle, but it's Manny Fatiu and the Rebels defensive line doing a great job closing the gap. That makes it 3rd down, and it's decision time for the Sun offense.
And that, again, goes back to what we've been talking about pregame and into the opening series. Can you slow down this offensive running attack? Great surge there up the middle, clogged it up. Allen had nowhere to go. Couldn't bounce it outside. They're going to go for it on 3rd down.
3rd and 7, and the Sun are going to gamble early. Here comes the snap. Kruger looking to his right, and he is going to scramble out of the pocket, and Miles McPherson and Caleb Ahiram are going to make the tackle, but I believe that's going to be a turnover on downs, although it's pretty close to call. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we have to ignore the players here because both sides are claiming victory on this one. We'll see where they mark it. and the Rebels are celebrating. So it is a turnover on downs. So victory number 1 in this chess match. Can you stop the running game? Can you force Okanagan to throw? The first check mark goes to the Rebels.
Yeah, a huge play there by the Rebels defense to hold strong and keep this game scoreless after a good kick return by the Sun off of the Rebels' first punt. And now the Rebels will take over near their own 20, and they'll look to march up the ball a little bit more this time. They were unable to get a first down on their first possession, so we'll see what changes they make here for this drive.
Zion Brown in the slot with Bowles on the outside, but see if that's a decoy.
Jeremiah Beckwith in motion. Here comes the snap and fake a handoff. It's a throw to Zion Brown. He's got it, and that is close to a first down, if not going to move the chains as Zion Brown. He had 4 touchdowns the last time these two teams met at Starlight Stadium, and he's going to be their number 1 receiver today. That's a first down.
23rd catch of the year. Nope, there was no fake there, no deception. Our best guys in the slot, and that's where we're going. Good throw from Cancelliere, and again, those strong hands of Brown making the reception, and they move the sticks.
So 1st and 10, ball moved to the 32, and it's a handoff to Jaron Harrinan. Flags do fly as he's brought down pretty early, and we'll have to wait and see where the flag is to determine if this was a free play or if the Rebels are going to be backed up here. Jaron Harrinan was banged up in that last game against Valley. He took a low hit, was questionable for this week. He was only practicing about half the time, but it looks like it's all systems go for the Rebels rookie running back who's really made a statement early on here.
Well, on opening day on July 18th, he was the 3rd string running back. By the end of the day in the 4th quarter, he was their go-to guy, and he has not let go of that spot to this point. Right there, the Sun jumped and got into the neutral zone, 1-yard restraining area in Canadian football. So first down for the Rebels.
1st and 5. They get a free 5 yards, and that moves the ball up near the 35. Cancelliere, receivers in motion, takes the snap, and they're going to go on the ground again to Harrinan, and he breaks a couple tackles. It's going to be a close call for the first down, as great run there by Jaron Harrinan up the middle, and we'll have to wait and see where this ball is spotted, but it's very close, and it looks like the chains are going to move, so it's another Rebels first down.
Yeah, move those sticks, say the Rebels fans here at Starlight Stadium. That takes a lot of pressure off Cancelliere and the passing game. If you can get 8 and 9 yards a chunk out of your running game, really makes it a lot easier.
So 1st and 10 on their side of the field. It's a fake here for Cancelliere. He's going to take off to the right, and he's going to be brought down after a short gain of about 4. And that's what you're going to get from Anthony Cancelliere. He can hurt you with the arm, but he can also hurt you with the legs. It's a short gain for 2nd down.
But the run up the middle from Harrinan sets that up. So that's great play calling by Doug Lervold. You put it in the belly, you pull it out. Okanagan's defense converges up the middle because they just ripped you off for 9 yards, and now the quarterback can scoot around the corner and make a second and pick up another first down.
So it's 2nd and about 7 here near midfield. And the Rebels got some work to do here as Cancelliere, empty backfield set. Here comes the pressure. Cancelliere rolls out to the left, and here he comes looking for the first down. Oh, and it's going to be very close as he slides down to avoid the tackle, but let's see where this ball is spotted. I think it might be 3rd and inches here, so still a little bit of work to do to get that first down.
Well, that's the confidence that Cancelliere is now kind of learning the Canadian game, right? He comes from Maryland. He played his college football in the Philadelphia area. He comes here, wider field. I think he was a little bit nervous early about, I have to get Zion Brown in the game. I got to use my running game. And now he's in his 5th game, and I think he has a little more control over the RPO, when to go, and use his legs a little more because he's not that big a guy, 5'10", on his tiptoes, but quick to get around the corner.
So it is going to be a measure here. As again, that play was very close where Cancelliere did slide down to avoid the tackle, but it looks, oh boy, this one's a close measure. It's going to be a hold, so 3rd and inches. And now if you're the Rebels, do you go for it with the ball pretty much at midfield here?
Well, I know which way you're leaning.
I'm not much of a gambler, Jay, but
I don't think this is a gamble. Again, when you get that 1 yard, it's not like the American game where you can be nose to nose. They're giving you the yard already, so you got to trust your offensive line to give a surge, lean forward, although they're going out of the shotgun here. on 3rd and inches. Now Cancellari's going to move up. Might even try to draw Okanagan offside for a second time.
The play wasn't drawn in yet, so play
go.
is blown in, and it's going to be Cancellari run under center. Could be a little tush-push action happening here. Receivers in motion.
No one in the backfield to help him. He's all on his own, but he
There's
gets it.
Cancellari. Nice push through, and it's a Rebels first down.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line. At the end of the day, I know it sounds cliche, but I don't care what level of football you're playing at, Pee Wee or the pros. If you can't control the line of scrimmage, you can't control the game. So that was a great opportunity there. They got 8-9 yards out of Herndon on a run. Now you get a 3rd down and inches, and you win that battle. So Rebels at midfield, first down.
They're on Okanagan territory for the first time this game. Receivers in motion. Cancellari fakes the handoff, throws up high, and it is incomplete, and a late hit on Zion Brown, and flags fly, as that was a little bit of dirty tactics there from the Sun, I gotta say. Zion Brown was in a vulnerable position. Ball was out, and you got to think that everyone on Okanagan was looking for number 4 on their hit list, and we'll see where the flags go here, but luckily Zion Brown looks like he's going to be all right, as that was a tough hit.
Well, the pass was behind him. That put him in an awkward position. The Okanagan player did make the hit late, and then, the Rebels come in, and it was Marino DeGela who may get actually the biggest penalty here after it's all said and done, because he came in and stuck up for Zion Brown, which you appreciate, but we'll see where we go back and forth here. You could have offsetting penalties as well, because the ball's going back to the 54-yard line in Okanagan, and that's where they scrimmage from.
Right.
That might be a boys being boys situation.
Well, the Rebels did lose it down, so it's 2nd and 10. Penalties clear each other out for yardage, but now the Rebels do have some work to do here at 2nd and 10.
But all of that could have been alleviated if the pass is on target.
Yeah.
You have the best receiver in the league. He's still trying to bring it in with his hands, but he had to twist. So we need a better pass, better execution.
Lots of receiving options here for Cancellari to his right and to his left. Empty backfield set. Cancellari looking to throw. He's going to throw a dart to Aiden Bowles, and it is incomplete. As good coverage there by the Okanagan secondary. That's Riley Easton in coverage, and that makes it 3rd and 10, and the Rebels special teams unit going to have to come out here and try and pin the Sun deep on this kick.
Still scoreless in this first quarter, and here's another example of the pass. Appears to be good, but really needs to be a little bit more in front of the receiver so he can run into it and keep that defender on his back. Instead, the defender was there for Okanagan to get his hand in and knock it down.
So it's Jordan Cran's going to punt this ball away as we nearly blow away here in the broadcast booth. And he's with the win, so this is a good kick. Received at about the 20. And this time the special teams unit for the Rebels gets in and is going to make the tackle. So no big kick return this time, and that's good for the special teams unit, as it was Gage Parker once again, but not a lot of room this time around.
We're halfway through the opening quarter, and still no scoring in this game. And as much as you look at the numbers, offense, defense, it's a little skewed because of the way the league is. So, again, we're not talking about betting people, but I would have wagered on a low-scoring game, just because really good teams are hard to score against.
Yeah. Well, the last
that's
time
what we showed the first quarter. It's been hard to move the ball.
Yeah, the last time these two teams met here, the final score was 43-39 Okanagan over West Shore. So it's been a battle of the offenses, but maybe this time around it's a battle of the defenses. We'll have to see, as Liam Kruger is going to be hemmed in near his own 10-yard line, and it's going to be an inside handoff to Jackson Allen on first down. And just like Jackson Allen has done all year, it's a good gain on first down. That's going to make it 2nd and manageable for the Sun.
Well, again, Allen leading the BCFC in rushing yards through 4 games. So if Okanagan can get him going, then that takes a little pressure off Liam Kruger. And when you're down inside your own 20-yard line, that's a wise way to go. Let's try to get the big boys up front, get some blocks going, and let's see what we can do as they try again.
Here is Jackson Allen breaking through the secondary, getting the outside edge, and he is still going. The ball is out, but it's out of bounds near the 55, as Jackson Allen with a huge run there gets the Sun out of their territory and near to midfield, a big first down on the run.
Well, that's what he's capable of doing. He doesn't need much. He's like the Zion Brown on the Rebels side. He can make a man miss, and then with his speed, he's very elusive, he's very strong. So as a running back, once he gets into the secondary, he's actually bigger than a lot of the guys that are trying to bring him down. And right there, the Rebels caught a break that the ball slipped out of his hand, otherwise he might still be running.
So 1st and 10 near midfield now. Kruger, bit of a miscommunication on the handoff, and now Kruger has to scramble himself, and he still gets a good gain as he dives down near the first down marker. As it looked like a troubled play from the get-go, but the Sun makes something happen out of it, and it's close to a first down.
Well, that's why usually your best athlete is normally the guy that has the ball the most often, and that is the quarterback. And he made something out of nothing there. He turned a handoff. There was nobody there in an orange helmet, but he didn't panic. He just turned into a running back and turned it into a positive play.
So it looks like, I'm not sure if it's a timeout. It looks like a timeout has been called here by Okanagan, or it's a regulated water break. I'm not sure. But the official did point towards Okanagan, so I believe they've used their first timeout here, and they have. So an early timeout, it's a bit of an odd time to burn a timeout, especially if we get late in the half here. But Travis Miller obviously saw something he didn't like and used his first timeout.
And he's out immediately talking to the officials, and he's concerned. He's doing a lot of pointing, so either it's an alignment situation, something what the Rebels are doing, or I'm not quite sure what it is he's trying to get out of the officials here. But he burned a timeout to do this with 5:43 to play in the opening quarter, and we're still tied 0-0 at Starlight Stadium.
I think the Sun sideline wasn't particularly pleased with how Kruger was tackled there, as he kind of made an awkward dive/slide attempt, and the Rebels kind of made him pay for it. So I'm assuming having a bit of discussion about protecting their quarterback, and looks like it's been resolved, and we're going to get back to action here pretty shortly.
Smart play by Travis Miller. He's like, I'm not too concerned about my timeouts, but I'm going to get the next call in my favor because I'm going to make my voice heard to the officials.
So 2nd and about 4 as the Sun march into Rebels territory here, and they're going to hand the ball off. No, they're not. It's a deep shot downfield. Got a man. It's complete. And it is going to be an Okanagan touchdown as the Sun draw first blood. It's Devontae Mosey, a deep field threat for the Sun, and that is 6 on the board, and the defending champs strike first in this battle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dagger. Now we're going to find out what the Rebels are made of. This is their first home game in a month, and that's just a matter of Okanagan player being faster and getting behind the defender. That's just a fly pattern down the sideline. Well thrown by Kruger, and 6-0 for Okanagan.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So make it 7-0 Okanagan here in the last 5 minutes of the first quarter. And we hadn't seen the ball been aired out that much on either side, but that's a huge first play for the Okanagan Sun and Liam Kruger to get some confidence and get that first points on the board here.
Good protection by the Okanagan front, but nothing fancy about that. You run as far as you can run, as fast as you can run. I'll throw it as far as I can throw it, and the timing was perfect, and there was no help. And that's, again, the Canadian game, really difficult for safety to get that far over to the sideline. The corners are on an island more often than in American football where the field is narrower. And so good read by Kruger, saw his man, aired it out. Okanagan with an early 7-0 lead.
Yeah, Devontae Mosey, again, the receiving is really spread out for the Sun offense, but he's averaging 21 yards a catch, and that's double the next highest on the Sun. So he's definitely their deep field threat, and that's why Sun leads 7-0. And Grady Hay going to kick this ball away. It's a low booming kick, and Ephraim Fisher, no problem. He's going to rush quickly to his left to try and get to the edge. Here comes the return team by the Sun, and he is going to be brought out of bounds near the 25-yard line, so not a lot of room to work with there. And that's where the Rebels will have to start their offensive drive and trying to get some points on the board to respond to that 7 points scored by the Sun on the last possession.
I was kind of hoping Fisher would have, when he broke to his left, when he got to the middle of the field, I think the Rebels were kind of hoping he was going to dart back up the middle. Instead, he kept coming all the way in front of his bench and couldn't get around the corner.
So, spot the ball right at the Rebels' 20-yard line. A lot of field in front of them here, now down by a score. And let's see what Anthony Cancellari and the offense have to work with here. Empty backfield here. Cancellari drops back. Here comes the pressure. He's going to try and answer with a deep ball himself, but that one is going to carry too far forward, incomplete, as Ephraim Fisher was the intended receiver, but a little bit too much air under that ball, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Well, I like the fact that the Rebels are going, well, you beat us deep. I'm going to come right back. It's an eye for an eye. We can do the same thing. Yeah, the pass was just a little bit out of the reach, and Fisher was not able to run underneath it.
As dare I say, Jay, the wind has now died down, so I can actually hear myself think on 2nd and 10 here. A brief moment of calm up in the broadcast booth here as Cancellari has Beckwith in motion. He's going to take the snap. Here comes the pressure, and Cancellari going to roll out, going to throw for Beckwith. It's going to be caught for a first down with room to go. Here goes the big man, and he is going to be brought down at the 40-yard line, but a huge reception by number 33, and that's a big Rebels first down.
Jeremiah Beckwith is a big target, 6'4", out of Kingston, Ontario. In his 5th year, that's his 7th catch of the year. That takes him over 100 yards for the year. Great call again by the Rebels. They gave options. They sent people deep, and then Beckwith curls underneath. Cancellari finds him, and again at 6'4" and over 200 pounds, once he gets going, he's a tough man to bring down.
So that moves the chains in Okanagan territory, and Cancellari has the ball again. He's going to fake the handoff. There's Zion Brown, and he makes the catch and takes another big hit. But that is going to move the chains for another West Shore first down as this offense is clicking downfield.
And that's where you want Cancellari to go with that pass, in front of his receiver, so Brown can take it in stride with those strong hands, pull it down, and then force someone to make a tackle. Not reaching behind or down low. Well thrown ball there by Cancellari.
So put the ball at the 30-yard line of Okanagan here as the defense for the Sun now reeling. Need to find some answers here. Empty backfield set. Here's Cancellari. Here comes the pressure from the outside. He's going to try and roll away from this one, and he's going to have nowhere to go for it. He's going to be thrown out of bounds, and there's a late flag. So that's going to be a free play and some for the Rebels here as the Sun defense a little undisciplined on that tackle.
Yeah, that's Panda Baker, and that's a poor decision on his part, because actually Cancellari, I expected him to throw the ball away, but then I think he was worried about the fact that there's no red jersey anywhere near him, so that would have been loss of down, intentional grounding, so he takes the loss of yards, and then Panda Baker gives it right back. Again, these are young guys, right? They're not pros, and sometimes in a game like this, emotions can get the best of certain people in certain times. So a break there for the Rebels on the penalty against Okanagan.
So that moves the ball up to the Okanagan 19-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 as the shadow of the goal line is now in sight for this Rebels offense. And on first down, Cancellari takes the snap. There's flags flying all over the place as that's an inside handoff to Carson Graham, but that's going nowhere. We'll have to wait and see what the infraction was there and see if the Rebels are going to lose it down here or maybe get some free yards.
24th carry of the year for Carson Graham. We'll see if it stands as his 24th. It looks like it's infraction against Okanagan. So they'll move the ball a little closer towards that end zone to our left from our location here at Starlight Stadium. 7-0 for Okanagan, but the Rebels are knocking on the door.
It's a 5-yard penalty on the offside call, so it makes it 1st and 5 at the 14-yard line. And the Rebels inch closer here with 2:53 remaining in the first quarter, and this play going to be blown down before it even goes. And it looks like a timeout being called, so Okanagan using its 2nd timeout already. They've got none left for the entirety of the first half as they didn't like the set they were seeing there and quickly called a timeout.
Oh, Travis Miller, the head coach, is laying down the law. Again, this game, both teams 3-1. These teams have played in the Cullen Cup the last 3 years?
3 years, correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So he knows, and sometimes the coach feels like his team doesn't know how important this is. We mentioned in the pregame chat that for Okanagan to come on the road and get out of this first quarter ahead with the Rebels playing their first home game in a month would be real important. So as a head coach, he's going, guys, we're in the final 3 minutes. We're winning the first quarter. And now all of a sudden, with a poor defensive decision and another penalty and just not liking the body language here, you're letting it slip away. So he steps in as a head coach, puts his foot down. He's got his team's attention. Let's see how they respond.
So the play now blown in, 2:49 remaining here in the first quarter. The Rebels looking to tie things up here. And 1st and 5, Cancelari fakes the handoff, throws the outside complete to Aiden Bowles, who takes a big hit right after the reception as I trying to get a number down the field. And it looks like it was number 12, who I don't have on my program here, of course. But Bowles takes a big hit but moves the ball up a couple yards, make it 2nd and 2.
Yeah, unfortunately we got the same lineup sheet, but a great stick by number 12. I'll give him that. I don't want to. It could be Tashane Peach, maybe, who was listed as number 13, but whoever did it, good stick. Bowles had nowhere to go.
So 2nd and 2 here. Rebels looking to move the chains again, and it is a handoff up the middle to Carson Graham. He's got the first down, and he's got the touchdown. Rebels 6 points on the board as Carson Graham goes on the ground. And this game, buckle up, folks. It's going to be a good one.
That was great blocking up front by the Rebels off the right side. Got a seal there, and Graham was able to get through the hole. And once he was past the line of scrimmage, there was no one to stop him. That's his 3rd touchdown of the year for Carson Graham. And now the extra point coming. And if Bowles can knock this through, we'll be tied at 7 with 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter at Starlight Stadium.
Here comes the set as Zion Brown going to hold this one. Good hold, good snap, kick is up, kick is through, tackle on the extra point, and that is 7-all late in the first quarter here. And after the Sun had that big strike, good response by this Rebels offense to march the ball downfield. They were on the good side of not getting any stupid penalties, and they were rewarded with 6 points on the board there.
Yeah, they showed great composure on that drive. Again, the bad penalty against Okanagan, against Pannebecker, that kept the drive going. But the drive started, the biggest play was the Jeremiah Beckwith. And as a fan, I'd be sitting across the way here at Starlight going, hey, use that man more often. That dude's, that's like Luke Wilson style. That's like Gronk, in the slot in the Canadian game. Big target, 6'4", hard to bring down. Let's see if they, as we move into the second half of the year, they see if they get him more into the playbook. Take some of the pressure of Zion Brown.
So here's a squib kick by Carter Melvin, and they just didn't want to give the returner any room to run with there, not opting to kick it to their deep man, Gage Parker. And pretty good results there. The ball stopped right shy of the 40-yard line, which is where they would have started with had they elected just to receive the ball. So that's where the Sun will take over, as now it's Okanagan's turn to respond to the score.
Got Justin Lutz, the return man on that play. So here we are, 7-7. Not a big surprise with these two of the top teams in the BCFC, not just this year, but over the last number of years, that we have a tight one here in the opening quarter.
Liam Kruger takes the snap. It's an outside handoff to Allen, who finds the edge around the outside before being met by red jerseys and slammed to the ground. It's a medium gain of about 5. And Jackson Allen going to be an important player for this entirety for the Sun, and gets a good pickup on first down.
To hold that guy to just 5 yards is an accomplishment. Again, it's 3-down football, so they could just hand it off to him again and hope he gets another 5. Or you're going to force Liam Kruger to throw the ball. That's what the Rebels want. They want him throwing it.
2nd and 6. Kruger fakes the handoff. Here comes the pressure. Zamir Clayton rushing down. Here's a throw to the outside, and it's in and out of the hands of Isaiah Booten. Incomplete. Nearly another interception for this West Shore defense, but it's going to bring up 3rd down, and it looks like Grady Hay and the punt team out for Okanagan, so the Rebels are going to get this ball back.
Yeah, Pannebaker was there. They might have 2 number 4s. This is the wide receiver for sure. Had Nisi Pannebaker Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball, and Boutron had his hands on it, but just couldn't quite bring it in. That's twice now today. The Rebels had a shot at their 13th interception of the year and haven't brought it down. Saving them for the fourth quarter, Tyler.
Yeah. Grady Hay gonna kick this one away here. And that is going to be returned way back there by Antoine Barrett, who has some trouble, and he is just going to have to dive onto this ball to ensure that it doesn't get turned over. So that's where the Rebels will take over near their 28-yard line. And Jay, it feels like I'm in Twister right about now. Just trying to hold on. There might be some cows flying through here at some point.
Well, a bit of a nervous moment there for Antoine Barrett for sure, because in a game like this, small things become big things. So a muff punt. Luckily, he was able to jump on top of it. We're into the final minute of the opening quarter in a 7-7 tie. So you don't want to give good teams, free points. So he was able to get on top of it. And now Cancellaire back at quarterback, and we got 3 men to the right. Let's see where he goes.
First down, and it's going to be a handoff inside to Jaron Harrinan. Makes a nice move, but he is going to be met quickly by that Sun defensive line. Not much gain to speak of. So that's going to make it 2nd and long near the Rebels' 25-yard line, and Cancellari going to have to make some magic happen here on 2nd down to move the chains.
Yeah, Grayson Statham stepped right in there and made a solid tackle. His job was to hold up the Harrinan and then wait for his teammates to come and finish off the play. So he did his job. He got in there, filled the hole. Good defense by Okanagan on 1st down.
Wind continues to howl through our broadcast booth here. We apologize if it sounds like we're in a wind tunnel here.
Well, you didn't tell everybody we're actually playing this game in Oklahoma. You didn't tell them that part?
Here is Cancellari looking for Beckwith, and that one is going to be incomplete as it touched the turf before Beckwith could make the catch. So that brings up 3rd and 10, and the Rebels quickly going to have to punt this ball away. But that spells the end of the first quarter here at Starlight Stadium. It is 7-all as the two juggernauts here in the BCFC continue to jockey for position. Again, huge playoff implications in this game, and we are all square after 1 quarter of play. Jay, what's your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, we got 2 heavyweights here. So, and they both thrown a couple of haymakers. A long pass for the touchdown for Okanagan, big play to Beckwith, and then who's going to win the line of scrimmage. Allen has him able to run free. So they forced Kruger to throw probably more often than than Okanagan wants. And then it's just a matter of who's going to blink first, who's going to make that crucial mistake. And we talk about the line of scrimmage, but also if you win the turnover battle, you can win a game. So that's what we're going to come down to. We got 3 more quarters to go, but a very efficient opening quarter, and that punt into the wind is going to be trouble.
There's a short punt by Jordan Kranz, but a good job by the Rebels special teams unit to get in on the tackle early as Gage Parker didn't have much where to go, and Bryce Ruther making the tackle for the Rebels, and that's where the Sun will take over the football.
Yeah, the kicking game is so important in Canadian rules, and I was a little surprised he went straight up. That was more like an American kick where you're going for distance, but into the wind, not really going to work. Usually in the Canadian game, they go more on an angle and kick the ball towards the sideline. So that gives your cover team a chance to get down there and kick it towards the sideline. Then the receiving team really has nowhere to go, but out of bounds. That one went straight up.
And here's Jackson Allen on 1st down, and good job by the Rebels defensive line to close the gap there. Not much of a gain to speak of there for Allen on 1st down. That's going to make it 2nd and long as that ball going to be spotted near the Rebels' 45-yard line.
Yeah, Allen tries to cut the play back up the middle, but he ran into 3 red jerseys waiting for him. So they stayed at home defensively, which that's important on discipline. You can't let a running back bounce it to the outside or over converge on the runner. So they stayed in their lanes, and Allen really had no choice but to go down after a short gain.
So 2nd and 8 now as Kruger going to fake the handoff here. Here comes the pressure. It's another deep throw downfield. Cameron Cohn is there, but a good job by the Rebels secondary to break that pass up. Incomplete. That's 3rd down, and now it's decision time, and it looks like the Sun are going to try and hem the Rebels in here with a punt on 3rd down.
Rebels had a blitz coming up the middle. Okanagan picked it up. And Kruger knew he had man-to-man coverage on the outside and tried to hit his man, but you're not going to beat the Rebels number 2 very often. I don't mean number 2 defender, I mean number 2 in general, and that's Cameron Cohn. He's one of the best in the league. So the Rebels can leave him out there on an island, and they're comfortable with that.
Antoine Barrett is the man deep downfield for the Rebels to return this kick, as Grady Hay nearly had that one blocked, and Bryce Ruther made contact with the kicker there, so that's going to be a penalty against the Rebels, as Barrett just going to run out of bounds here, nearly hitting our camera operator down there. Luckily he's all right. And we'll have to see. I think it's going to be the Okanagan offense who gets a chance to come back out here after that roughing the kicker penalty.
Yeah, a little overly aggressive. Came right up the middle. Didn't get to the ball, and unfortunately his momentum took him into the kicker. And the official has to make a decision there, but that's one of those ones the rule says, yeah, you ran through the kicker, not much I can do, son. Got to throw the orange hanky. Then you have to decide whether it's roughing or contacting, because there's a yard difference in how much yardage goes against the Rebels here in a 7-7 tie.
Well, the entire Okanagan offense back out on the field here, so they're anticipating a first down. So looks like the Sun are backing up. There must have been a penalty of some sort against them. As we're just, looks like it was equal penalties, so it actually does make it third down. So it's back to special teams. We're going to replay the down, basically. A bit of loss of yardage here for the Sun after the penalties. So didn't see what the Okanagan infraction was, but punt team back out, and we'll pretty much just replay the down.
Gonna have to get my officials hand. They do their hand signals to the crowd with their back to us, yes. Unfortunately. So,
yes.
And we don't have, not to make excuses for us, but we don't. They're not mic'd up for us.
Right.
In any event, they'll redo the punt.
So Grady Hay going to be backed up 5 more yards, and we're going to do this punt again. It's still Antoine Barrett looking to return this kick, and this time Ruther does not make contact, and Barrett going to take this one in stride and just duck out of bounds near the Okanagan sideline, near about the 30-yard line or so. So after all the infractions, the West Shore offense going to take over here near their own 30 and try and get a good drive going here at their first one of the second quarter.
Yeah, better job there by Bryce Ruther. Learned his lesson, came up short, no contact, but the punt went to the sideline, which I was talking about earlier, so there was nowhere for Barrett to go. Just make sure you catch it, step out of bounds, and now let the offense do their job.
So that spots the ball at the West Shore 22-yard line, so a lot of field ahead of them here on this drive. Again, coming off a touchdown on their last possession, so confidence is high here for this West Shore offense. And let's see what they can do here early in the second quarter. Play is blown in. Cancelleri has 3 receivers to his left and 2 to his right. Takes a snap, looking left, pump fake, throw, and it is going to be caught by Josh Nevin. And he could have used a block there, but regardless, it's about a 7-yard pickup there by Josh Nevin, one of the veteran wide receivers for this team. Makes it 2nd and manageable.
Brandon Manitoba makes his 9th catch of the year. I think Jeremiah Beckwith would have liked to be able to throw a block there. I think Beckwith might have been a little nervous about where he was. If he makes the block from that angle, he might have been worried about getting called for a clip, as they used to call it. I don't know what they call it.
Yep.
Blocking from
Block
behind.
In the back, yeah.
Block from the back. So he just said, I'll just not this time. I think it was a good decision on his part.
So 2nd and 3 here. Receivers in motion. Cancelleri takes the snap. He's going to hand this ball up the middle to Carson Graham, but this time it's the Sun defensive line doing a great job of closing the gap, and now it's decision time for the West Shore offense, as this is going to make it 3rd down deep in their own territory, and the punt team, in fact, is going to come out. So the Okanagan Sun defense with a good response after giving up a score last time, and that forces the Rebels to punt this ball away.
Yeah, nowhere for Graham to go in the middle of that offensive line. They lost the battle on that one, so Okanagan forces the punt in a 7-7 tie. Still 12 minutes to play in the first half.
So Jordan Cran's going to have to punt this ball away. And he's going into the sun as well. That doesn't make things easier. But it's a good booming kick this time from Kranz, and that one's going to be returned by Gage Parker deep in his own down the sideline, and a great job by the Rebels special teams unit to swarm in on the ball and make the tackle, and the Sun are going to start on their side of the territory on their 45-yard line.
Yeah, Bryce Ruther, again, being a big man here on the special teams, got in and made that tackle. So 44-yard line first down for Okanagan. They've had one big play today. That was for the touchdown. Other than that, not much going on offensively for the team that's won 3 national championships in their history.
Liam Kruger back out on the field, and he's going to hand this ball off to Jackson Allen on first down. He's going to cut to the inside, and he is going to be brought down after a gain of about 3. So the Rebels defensive line doing a good job of halting the run game there, and that's going to make it 2nd and long for the Sun offense.
One of the things that jumped out for me from Jackson Allen, never mind the fact that he's leading the BCFC with 420 yards starting play today in just 4 games, no fumbles. And he runs between the tackles. Like, he's not a scat back. He's in the middle. He's taking hits from linebackers and no fumbles. Very impressive. Which also means he's due for one.
So 2nd and 6 here. Kruger going to drop back. Here comes the pressure. He's going to escape out to the middle, and he is going to be brought down, but I think he's got the first down as Kruger doing some great improvisation there, and that's going to move the chains for a Sun first down.
Well, Connor Shaw is able to run him down. Calgary native, good hustle here. He didn't give up on the play. You can see how far behind the runner he was, Kruger, and he just kept his motor running and ran the quarterback down. Sticks will move, however. Okanagan now at midfield, first down, and a 7-7 tie.
Ball spotted right at midfield here as the Sun look to enter West Shore territory here on this play. Receivers in motion. Kruger fakes the handoff, going to throw up the middle. Got a man wide open in the middle. Great reception there as that's Tyler Craver with about a 25-yard reception as Kruger lets the arm loose, and that's a big Okanagan first down.
Right down the seam. Good timing. Good delivery by Kruger, and Craver able to hang on after taking the hit. You run down. Receiver runs a seam pattern, he has to expect contact. So a good job by Craver to hang on.
Ball at the 35 now in West Shore territory. Empty backfield set. Kruger going to roll out immediately. Going to throw it in the middle, and it is incomplete as the pressure was coming, and Kruger had to get the ball away and just missed his target. That's going to make it 2nd and 10.
Bryce Ruther in the backfield causing problems for Kruger. He couldn't really step into his throw. One of the many players from Mount Doug Secondary. Alumni, just saying.
There you go.
Didn't have football when I was there, but one of the better football programs in British Columbia. A lot of Mount Doug grads on this Rebels ball club, and Ruther representing the Rams.
2nd and 10, empty backfield again for Kruger. He's going to step in and throw, and it is incomplete over the middle, looking for Jackson Allen way downfield. And that one just overthrown as Gio Lanuzzi, the safety, was in coverage, and now it's 3rd and 10. Decision time here for the Sun.
Well, back on July 18th, when you were directing and the other Tyler, the president of the league, and I were doing the game, and we got to the end of the 4th quarter, basically, and we're like, we have not called number 1's name all day. That's the first time today, basically, that Gio gets called, and the reason is no one wants to throw over the middle of the field because he's a bandit back there. Gio Lanuzzi. That's the closest he's come to the football today.
So here comes a field goal try by Grady Hay, the premier kicker in the BCFC. This is about a 42-yarder. And here is the kick. It is up. It is good. Great kick by Grady Hay. It's about a 43-yarder. We don't see that much in the BCFC, 40-plus yards, but Grady Hay made that look easy and tack 3 points on the board for Okanagan. They take a 10-7 lead midway through the 2nd quarter.
Well, we talk about turnover battle. That's important. Special teams. When you have 2 really good teams playing against one another, who's going to win that battle? So there's an excellent field goal attempt there from Hay, over 42 yards. Don't want to have fumbles. Don't want to have penalties. Again, little things become big things when good teams play each other. I don't care what the sport is.
So quick water break here for the officials. It gives everybody a chance to breathe here. It's a good turnout here at Starlight Stadium, a good crowd, and Again, it's a nice day here at Starlight. It might sound like it's not a nice day if you're sitting on your couch at home here, but I promise you it's sunny, it's nice. There is some rain in the forecast for about 5:30 today, so we'll keep an eye on the clouds as that could alter how this game is played as well. But right now it's sunny. It's, again, very windy where we're standing, but on the field it's pretty manageable and good turnout of fans here at Starlight Stadium. And you don't want to miss any of the action here at Starlight Stadium. We've still got 3 more regular season home games here, including the VI Raiders coming to town on September 5th. If you were up in Nanaimo for that Week 3 matchup, boy, did you witness something. That was quite the game and came down to the final play. And I know the Rebels are going to have that game on their calendar once this one's all said and done with, because that was a fantastic clash of the Titans. As empty backfield set here for Cancelleri on 1st and 10. Here comes the pressure. Cancelleri escapes, and he is just going to take this one himself, and he is going to take a big hit there, but a good gain of about 8 as Cancelleri, good improvisation there, just tucks it down himself and gets a good gain on 1st down.
Yeah, when in doubt, use your legs. If you're Anthony Cancelleri, very frustrated in the backfield for Okanagan was Michael Sneed. He thought he had a sack, but Cancelleri was able to get out of his grasp, and then it's scramble mode because all the receivers were downfield, which means the secondary is a long way from the line of scrimmage. So Cancelleri was able to pick up like 9 on the play.
So 2nd and inches, basically. On this one, we'll see if the Rebels take a shot. Nope, they're just going to keep it on the ground here. Jared Harrinan in trouble, and I don't know if he's got the 1st down here. We'll have to wait and see where this ball is spotted. But a great defensive stand there by the Sun defensive line. And now it's decision time as it's still 3rd and about 1. And do the Rebels gamble here on their side of the football field?
Well, Michael Sneed wasn't going to get a miss twice. He almost had a sack. He had the jersey, he had Harrinan, he wasn't letting go. So he did his job. He got there first, and then the cavalry came and finished it off. But Michael Sneed, big number 9 on the left end for Okanagan, forces them into a 3rd down.
So 3rd and about 1, the Rebels going to go for it here. Big moment to keep this drive alive. And they're going to go inside again to Harrinan. And this time, Harrinan is going to get the 1st down as a good run up the middle, moves the chains. And it's gut check time when you're on that offensive line on 3rd and short, but the Rebels did their job, and it's a Rebels 1st down.
Got Jonah Anderson in the middle, Rylan Brown, Shamar Solberg, Jonas Weiss Feldhaus, and Marino DeGella. It was on them. It's 3rd down in the yard. They have to win that battle, and they did, and Harrinan got just enough to move the chains.
So Cancelleri in the gun here. Receivers in motion, takes the snap, looking to his left, going to throw outside for Josh Nevin, and it is overthrown, incomplete. As Nevin also had a defender on him. I don't think that would have been much of a gain anyways, make it 2nd and 10.
Now Riley Easton was there for Okanagan, so in retrospect it looks like it's a bad throw, but really it's a safe throw. Incomplete. Let's just roll it. Underthrown. Okanagan's going the other way for an easy 6. And in a 10-7 ball game, you can't give easy points to either side.
So it's 2nd and 10 again here. Rebels need a good play here to keep the chains moving. Cancelleri in the gun, takes the snap, going to look to throw right away, and it is knocked down by the defensive line of the Sun, incomplete. And now the Rebels going to have to punt this ball away as this drive goes the way of Okanagan. And the Rebels going to have to rethink this one as they come off the sideline, still trailing by 3.
Just going to see who got a hand on that. I think it was Mitch Hagenbottom. Didn't get a replay on that one, but he came right up the middle. And that's the one downside. You have a 5'10" quarterback throwing the ball over the middle. A lot of big people, a lot of hands in the way.
Jordan Kranz gets a good kick away down the right sideline here. Gage Parker going to return this one near his own 20. And this time he's going to try and make a couple men miss. He's still on his feet trying to get to the edge. And good return here by Gage Parker. Looked like he was going to be tackled a few times. But this time goes down near his own 30-yard line. Not before a pretty good gain there. Didn't look like a whole lot, but he made something happen out of it. And Okanagan will take over the ball near the 35.
I admire his guts because Those guys he caught that ball right in front of the Rebels bench. He could have stepped out of bounds, and no coach would have got upset with him. No player would have got upset with him. They just make the catch and get the offensive on the field. And he went, no, I'm going to try to make something out of nothing here. And sure enough, he's in the middle of the field. And then the Rebels are scrambling. And again, it was Ruther who made a tackle in the open field.
The clock is running. We are just above 5 minutes to go here in the first half. As Kruger in the gun takes the snap, it's a quick throw out to his left, and that one is going to be caught, but not for a quick tackle, as that's number 81, Noah Borhout, making the reception, and that's a gain of about 6, make it 2nd and 4 here for the Sun.
Yeah, Alazar Jakob in a position there where if he doesn't wrap that man up, then that's a big play for Okanagan. So before the season started, and I had a chance to talk to Connor Bryan, the head coach of the Rebels, and he said that he loves his team, but he really loves their secondary and their linebacking crew. And this is what they're showing today. Right? They can tackle, they can cover, they lead the league in interceptions.
Here's 2nd and 6, looking for a deep throw downfield. It is caught by Colton Meikle, and that is going to move the Sun into West Shore territory as the BC Lions standout makes a big catch, and that is going to flip the field as Okanagan now near the red zone. Big first down play.
Well, the football gods giveth and the football gods taketh away. Jakob made a good tackle the previous play, but that's the second time today he's been beaten one-on-one on a long ball. One for the touchdown in the first quarter, and that time they got it over his head, and great touch from Kruger to lay it in there for a big play for the Sun.
So 1st and 10 near the 30, and it's a run for Jackson Allen. Runs into his own offensive line, but still going on his feet. And it's going to take a bunch of Rebels to bring him down there, but not before a sizable gain as flags fly near the end of that play. We'll have to see what those flags and infractions are for, but Jackson Allen refusing to be brought down there on first.
Well, that's why you lead the league in running, rushing yards, right? He hasn't really gotten away from anybody today. That's the first time they're going to tack on yards here for a face mask as well. So he was able to break a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Now he's facing secondary men that are actually smaller than him, and he's got a full head of steam. And good running backs, once they see the end zone, they turn into another beast. They want to get to pay dirt.
So the Sun officially in red zone territory. It is 1st and goal. Ball spotted at the West Shore 7-yard line, and it is gut check time for this West Shore defense to try and limit the damage here. As Kruger going to be in the shotgun for this first snap. Looking to the outside. Receivers in motion, takes the snap and hands it off to Jackson Allen. And a good job by the Rebels defensive line to get in there quick and make the tackle. That's Zamir Clayton. As a bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle there, but a good job to limit the run on first down.
Yeah, this is where your defense really needs to bow their neck. They're thinking turnover here. They want to rip the ball out, they want to try to cause a fumble. Again, you got 20-yard end zones in Canadian football, not 10 like American, so there's a lot of room to cover back there, but an aggressive secondary will be thinking interception here.
So 2nd and goal, ball at the 6-yard line. Kruger in the gun. Receivers in motion, takes the snap, and is going to fake the handoff and roll out to the right, looking for a man. He's got one, and it is a touchdown for the Sun, as that is Noah Borhout on an island on the right side of the end zone. Tack on 6 more points as Kruger rolling out of the pocket finds his man, and the Sun extend their lead.
Yeah, Borhout got lost by the secondary there. There's a lot of people running crossing patterns, and he just stopped right inside the end zone. And the only man who knew that he was there was his quarterback. Everybody else ran crossing patterns, took red jerseys with them. Borhout stopped right inside the goal line. Kruger found him. Extra point is up and through. And now the Rebels at home find themselves down by 10.
Yep, unfamiliar territory here for the Rebels. In the last few meetings against the Sun, it's been the Rebels up 19 to 20 points at halftime, and it's been the Sun who have been a second-half powerhouse and come all the way back and storm back to steal the victory in the last couple of years. This year we've changed the script. The Sun have come out in this first half and shown what they're made of, and now it's time for the Rebels to look inside and see what they've got.
Well, yeah, 2:39 on the clock here, so points of any kind, where they have to even if it's just a field goal. Get it back to a one-score game at halftime. Go in, coaches do their job. Everybody take a breath. Right? Again, these guys are 22 and under. A lot of emotions. When you only have a 10-game season, every game is magnified. CFL's 18, NFL's 17. You only get 10. There's no mulligans. And you get your home game, you want to take care of business, because on September 26th, they go back to Kelowna. And that'll be a virtual playoff game.
Yep. Yep, as you mentioned before, it's a two-tier league this year. And Grady Hay with a booming kick on the kickoff. Ephraim Fisher pretty much at his own goal line has to run this ball out. And he is going to be met by the special teams unit near the 20-yard line. And Fisher going to be slow to get up here, as that was a big tackle by the Sun special teams unit. And now Rebels offense going to need some answers here and work a 2-minute drill to get the ball downfield.
Yeah, booming was the right word. That's a large kick right there. Get back to the goal line, and he actually took it in the end. There are some that say, the Canadian rules are different, but you might want to take a safety there and get out at the 35, and yeah, you're down by 12, but go down and score a touchdown. But they're down by 10, still 2.5 minutes to play, and Rebels have both their timeouts. So we'll see what Coach Lervold and Coach Bryan have up their sleeve here.
Yeah,
2-minute play situation here. They got that offense in there. I'm sure they practiced it all week. Carson Graham in the backfield now.
Here is Cancelari on first down. Here comes the pressure. Cancelari in trouble, and down he goes near the goal line. A huge sack by the Okanagan defense. And now it's trouble time for this West Shore offense, as they are looking at second and about 20 near their own goal line. Do you just take the safety here, Jay?
Well, again, the rules are different, and it's all about field position. But, yeah, that was I don't know if it was a missed assignment on the offensive line, but definitely aggressive. Okanagan's feeling a bit of they're like sharks right now. Right? There's blood in the water, and Cancelari had no chance to get out of there. That play was definitely not in the 2-minute drill playbook. 2nd
and 24 for Cancelari in the offense here, with the goal line right behind. Can't take a sack here, you're going to give up points. Empty backfield set for Cancelari, and he's going to roll immediately to the left. Going to look for a big play downfield. He's got a man in triple coverage, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands. Josh Nevin, the intended receiver, but Vincente Ferreira in coverage there for the Sun nearly came up with an interception. And the Rebels going to punt this ball away, giving the Sun chance to tack on some more points here before half.
Yeah, well, that throw looked like a punt. He threw it up there hoping a red jersey would come down with it, and Josh Nevin actually saved an interception. He punched that ball away. But now Okanagan's going to get excellent field position unless they make a mistake. And under 2 minutes to play in the opening half, and they have a chance to tack on to their lead, which at the moment is 10.
Jordan Kranz deep in his own end zone to kick this ball away. Good snap, and it's going to be a safety. So Jordan Kranz not even going to try and kick this ball away. He's going to give up the 2 points, so make it 19-7 for the Sun, as the Rebels worried about the field position on that punt, and they'd like to play their chances on a safety rather than good field position for a touchdown here with a couple minutes to go.
Well, where we are, above the field, we know how windy it is. So we look at the flags on the field, no wind. But when that punt goes up, it's going to be where we are. Mm-hmm. So they knew that punt's not going to go. It might barely make it to the 40-yard line. No offense to Jordan Kranz, but he's, Mother Nature's going to win that battle. So now you put Okanagan back on the 35-yard line. And I think if you're Connor Bryan, you're thinking, well, what's 2 points? Really, if we're going to lose this game by 2 points, then we shouldn't have been out here. Should have stayed home today and golfed. They got to bye next week, so they got to let it all hang out in the second half.
Kruger on first down, going to throw for Colton Meikle, and he holds on to the football. A great reception by Colton Meikle. He had a huge catch on the last drive, and the BC Lions standout makes another one, and that's going to make it 2nd and short. As Kruger in the offense going to have to work with no timeouts here, so they're going to have to make sure they're getting the snaps off quickly here.
Yeah, Mikko was just a little too strong for Jakob there. That was just a larger player, stronger player able to hang on to that pass. Jakob was in good position, but not strong enough to rip the ball away.
2nd and 3, and they're going to go on the ground to Jackson Allen, and that time it's the Rebels defensive line doing a great job of closing the hole there. So that makes it 3rd and short. And now what do you do if you're the Sun? Are you going to punt this ball away or try and get that first down? And it looks like they are going to punt this football away, so the Rebels are going to get the ball back once more before the end of the half here.
A good penetration on the defensive line. And folks in Okanagan now, they're going to play the field position game. The clock's in their favor. They're up by 12 at 19-7. So just use the first time today the Canadian flag down to our right is actually stiffened a little bit. So get a nice long one here and give the Rebels a big field to play on.
Good snap, and Grady Hay gonna boot this ball away, and look at this ball go as Antoine Barrett gonna have to back up big time. He drops the football again, and oh, the ball is loose, and the Sun recover. Oh my goodness, a huge play, and the Sun knocking on the doorstep again as Grady Hay's boot once again helping the Sun, and now the Rebels are in deep trouble late in this half.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not sure he really recognized the leg of Hay and how strong it is. He was backpedaling, and he had the ball in his hands, but he couldn't hold it. And then when he scrambled to pick it up and it got away from him, then again it's blood's in the water for the those guys live for those moments. The guys that are on special teams either get a big hit, but when they get a chance for a fumble recovery late in the first half of a big game, they are all over that pigskin, and unfortunately that's a tough turnover for the Rebels to swallow right here. Now the defense really needs to come up with a turnover.
So Kruger on first down, going to try and scramble out of the pocket. He's got some daylight, and no one is going to stop number 10 in orange and white. Touchdown Sun, and a turnover turns to disaster in one play as Kruger scrambling out of the pocket for 6. And the Rebels are going to be staring at a near 20-point deficit before the first half ends here.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate turn of events, obviously, for the home team to give up back-to-back touchdowns and throw a turnover in the middle of it. So 26-7 with a minute still to play in the first half. So now you really, as coaches, you got to work extra hard now, making sure everybody's got their head up. Can't sulk now, no pouting. There's no crying in baseball and there's no pouting in football. So suck it up, have a good final minute, get to the locker room, and let's see if we can't win the next 30 minutes.
59 seconds remaining. It feels like it was just moments ago. This game was 10-7, and now it's 26-7 Okanagan late in this first half, and a lot of questions on that Rebels sideline now as Grady Hay goes to spot this ball to kick it off. Still 2 timeouts here for the Rebels, but they need some answers here, and they need them in a hurry.
Well, when I watched the replay of Okanagan's last game at home, I think it was Prince George, and they were hanging around. It was kind of like, oh, they're thinking, hey, we got a chance here. And then I went away and did something else. I came back. It's like, okay, why are they down by 40 points all of a sudden? Well, now we know why. Quick strike offense, very good special teams, and depth that the teams in the second tier of the league just can't keep up with the stronger teams. No different than what the Rebels did in their game. Like Kamloops was hanging around. The next thing you know, it's 64 to, it's a lot to a little. But we didn't expect that today, and there's still a half to play yet. So
it is Cameron Cohn who's going to return this one for the Rebels after another great kick by Grady Hay. Look at Cameron Cohn go, and it's Grady Hay making the tackle. The kicker laying the boom, and the Okanagan sideline loves that. But a good return by Cam Cohn puts that ball near the 40-yard line, so some room to work with here for this Rebels offense.
Well, we go back to the previous possession. Before the Okanagan tacked on a couple of scores, if you just get 3 on the board at least, you go into the locker room going, well, we just scored. and I believe the Rebels get the kickoff to start the second. So it's one of those doubles, right? You end the half with the score, you start the half with the score, and next thing you know, you're back into the ball game.
Yeah. Rebels actually received the first, so it'll be Okanagan with the first possession.
That's right. I was trying to. Yes.
But yes.
I was the one that told you that, actually. That's my bad.
Quick water break here. I believe for the officials, I didn't see an official timeout called. Oh, no, I do see on the scoreboard. West Shore does take a timeout here. So interesting.
Yes, it was the Rebels.
Call.
They have one left because Okanagan already used their two.
Yeah. So before the first offensive play, maybe just want to talk things over and make sure you're ready for this hurry-up offense that's about to come with just under a minute remaining. And again, the Rebels' offense was clicking there in the first quarter after that score, but they've come to a bit of a stall here the last couple drives and haven't really been able to see anything on the ground or in the air to this point.
No, right now this will be the prevent defense, as they say. Okanagan's secondary will be deep. I'm sure they're told, if you want to use the baseball term, no doubles, meaning nothing over your head. So in the secondary, nothing over your head. Keep everybody in front of you, and there's 52 seconds left. So you just, if you're the Sun, you want to run the Rebels out of time.
Here is Jared Harridan on the slip screen, and he is only going to get about 5. So Jared Harridan with a medium gain on first down, and this play is going to be blown back in, and the clock will start when the referee signals. As it's hurry up time now for this Rebels offense.
And hopefully at halftime we can have a peek and see what's going on in the Nanaimo. Raiders and the Rams today.
Yeah, another big matchup.
Seems strange for the Rebels to be cheering for the Raiders to improve their record to 4-1, but somebody's got to beat the Rams at some point.
Here's another slip screen pass, and this one's complete to Harridan with some blockers and some room. Here goes Harridan, and he is in Okanagan territory as he has ran out of bounds near the Okanagan 40. And there's a late flag, and by the crowd sign, it looks like this one's going against Okanagan. But we'll wait and see. Could be some extra yardage tacked on here. Good run there by Harridan on the screenplay.
Yeah, good blocking downfield, and Harridan with good strong running. And again, this is if this is against Okanagan, this will be the second time that they've had an undisciplined penalty, and it is going to be roughing. So that's going to tack on some yardage here. And again, if you're Okanagan's coaching staff, Trevor Miller going, why are we handing them points here at the end and you're making them feel like they have a chance? So a good setup, good execution by the Rebels, and then undisciplined by Okanagan.
So 24.3 seconds remaining in the half. The Rebels trying to get some points on the board before they go into the tunnel. Ball at the Okanagan 27. Receivers in motion. Cancellari in the gun, looking deep downfield, going to throw for the end zone, and it is incomplete as Jeremiah Beckwith was the intended receiver. As the Okanagan safety came over, made it double coverage, and nothing there for Jeremiah Beckwith to do but to come back to the huddle at 2nd and 10.
Well, he made a great attempt. He was double covered there, and he tried to come underneath and get to the ball, but he had to run through 2 men to get there, and it was just under the crossbar and just slightly underthrown.
So 2nd and 10, 19.7 seconds left on the clock. And the clock will start when the play is snapped in here. 3 receivers to Cancellari's left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield set. Cancellari looking for a pass, finds Harridan. He's got a man on him though, and he is going to be brought down after a short gain. And the clock is going to stop with 14.6 seconds remaining. And that's going to bring up 3rd and long. And are the Rebels going to try and kick with this crazy wind that's going on? It's a bit of a long kick. It's about a 30-yarder from here. So it looks like the Rebels going to try and get this through the air and move the chains.
Because on the field now, the wind is really gusting. It wasn't in the first quarter. Now it is.
Clock running here under 10 seconds. Cancellari looking end zone for Zion Brown. It's intercepted. And that is mysterious number 12 with the interception as Zion Brown, the intended receiver, but the Rebels are going to come up empty on their final offensive possession, and the Sun will take over with just a few seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, that's a tough one for Doug Lervold in the sense that we need points. We should go to our best player. That's Zion Brown, but the opposition knows that's your best player. So they had him double covered, almost triple covered. Maybe in retrospect, it's like, we pump fake there. There should be somebody else open. And again, I would like to go back to Jeremiah Beckwith. I'm not second guessing the call, but because the quarterback's the one's throwing the ball. But that was almost like too obvious to go to Zion Brown in that situation.
So it looks like the Sun going to take a knee here, and that's going to stop the clock with 1.8 left. So one more knee should spell the end of the first half here.
I understand your best players have to be your best players. We need to put them in a position where they can be your best players. So maybe earlier, I'd like to maybe see the ball in his hands in the second half more often, like little wide receiver screens. One block is all he needs, and he's gone. Right? You got the big man over the middle in Beckwith. Right? So it's hard now to come out in the second half and say, well, we'll just go back to grinding it out on the ground and chew up clock. That's what you do when you're ahead 26-7 at the half. You keep the ball out of your opponent's hands. Right now, you need to force some turnovers on defense. You need to maybe get a fumble and a punt, like Okanagan got. You need something to break your way, and then hopefully you can get the ball into the hands of your best players and let them be special.
So that is going to do it for our first half of coverage. It was a tight game, but the Sun, with a couple turnovers and a couple scores late in the half, make it 26-7 Okanagan at the break. We'll come back to you with second half coverage in about 10 minutes or so. You are tuned in to BCFC TV, TELUS Optic, and the CJFL Game of the Week. For Jay Longpre, I'm Tyler Bennett. We'll see you in about 10 minutes' time.
My name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Tip of our fingers, well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut and open, well, life's never far behind. All these places are known to me, all these things that we'll see when we go.
We're all looking for it. A place to reignite your soul and to awaken your inner child. To leave feeling awestruck, not because of the destination, but because of the journey itself. Take a deep breath and smell the freshness of the air. Listen to nature's music. Look out onto the vast horizon. Indulge in locally foraged food. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean. Let your senses come alive.
Let's take a long close look when no one else can see. In a dream I was made of gold, and I knew just what to say. Let me take you far away, away. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. When you're looking for a way to go, won't you reach for my hand? 'Cause I will be with you, just need to hold on.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land. We decided to change the name to more reflect our heritage.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
John and I have been partners since 1986.
In the old days, we bought lots and built houses and sold them, and we mostly build condo buildings now instead of single-family homes.
John and I go back to Norway quite a bit, getting ideas from there how to do things better. We're using solar panel on the roofs and electric car chargers. And more people are driving electric, and we want to be prepared for the future and promote some healthy and environment-friendly options. And people seem to like that. We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So I used to frame for Harold 20 years ago when I was just out of college. I became a lawyer down in California, and I was looking at my next step in my career, and I just took over as the president last year. And we have plans to expand what we've been doing by fourfold in the next couple years.
And now we're building very close to the downtown core of Langford, and we got mountains, we got snow, we got forest. Everything is in walking distance, basically. So you get a whole lot more for your money in Langford.
It's several years now been deemed or voted the best place in Canada to live. With all that, people are working from home and they're finding it kind of crowded in a lot of places, so we're trying to offer larger units for them.
And so what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Where are we going? Show me around. On tip of our fingers, well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut. shut and open. Well, life's never far behind. All these places are known to me. All these things that we'll see when we go.
We're all looking for it. A place to reignite your soul and to awaken your inner child. To leave feeling awestruck, not because of the destination, but because of the journey itself. Take a deep breath and smell the freshness of the air. Listen to nature's music. Look out onto the vast horizon. Indulge in locally foraged food. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean. Let your senses come alive.
I know of a place where we can go and roam. Let's take a long, close look where no one else can see. In a dream I was made of gold, and I knew just what to say. Let me take you far away, away. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. When you're looking for a way to go, won't you reach for my hand? 'Cause I will be with you, just need to hold on.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land. We decided to change the name to more reflect our heritage.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
John and I have been partners since 1986.
In the old days, we bought lots and built houses and sold them, and we mostly build condo buildings now instead of single-family homes.
John and I go back to Norway quite a bit, getting ideas from there how to do things better. We're using solar panel on the roofs and electric car chargers. And more people are driving electric, and we want to be prepared for the future and promote some healthy and environment-friendly options. And people seem to like that. We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So I used to frame for Harold 20 years ago when I was just out of college. I became a lawyer down in California, and I was looking at my next step in my career, and I just took over as the president last year. And we have plans to expand what we've been doing by fourfold in the next couple years.
And now we're building very close to the downtown core of Langford, and we got mountains, we got snow, we got forest. Everything is in walking distance, basically. So you get a whole lot more for your money in Langford.
It's several years now been deemed or voted the best place in Canada to live. With all that, people are working from home and they're finding it kind of crowded in a lot of places, so we're trying to offer larger units for them.
And so what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Starlight Stadium, and we are just getting ready for the second half. And Jay, we were just talking about what an onslaught there. 19 unanswered points from the Okanagan Sun to end the half. Just, I mean, what mindset are you in when it just seems like when it rains, it pours here for the Rebels?
Well, again, good teams take advantage. If the doors open a crack, a good team doesn't peek in and see if anybody's home. They just kick the door down. And I think the Rebels just learned a valuable lesson there that they're facing a very good team. And so the victories over the last couple of weeks, now they know really where they're at. And Okanagan was probably a little surprised that they were given a fumble punt and blown coverage here and there, but they've taken advantage. They play like a defending champion in that first half. And that's why it was 7-7. They're on the road. They kind of rope-a-dope for the first quarter, and then they pounced in the second quarter and outscored the Rebels 19-0. So now, if you want to be a championship team, the team in red needs to answer.
So the Rebels going to kick this one away, and this is a squib kick out of bounds. Flag flies. I'm assuming it's something to do with an illegal kick there. Didn't quite make it. Not the usual kicker here for the Rebels in the second half. Carter Melvin kicked that one away. So we'll have to keep an eye on if Jordan Kranz is at 100% or not. But penalty against the Rebels here, and that will probably give the Sun some better field position to start this second half. And Jay, I understand you have the stats. Can you go through our first half stats for us?
Yeah, Okanagan had 8 first downs. The Rebels had 7. Okanagan outrushed the Rebels 100-42. Okanagan outpassed the Rebels 131-116. And quarterback Liam Kruger was 6 of 10, 131 yards for Okanagan. And on the West Shore side of things, Anthony Cancelliere was 10 out of 18 for 116 yards.
So the Sun take over near their 35, and Liam Kruger in the gun takes a late hit while he gets the ball out to Colton Meikle, who's trying to get to the edge, and he is going to be knocked out of bounds near the 50-yard line, close to a first down. As number 17, Colton Meikle, a offensive dynamo here in the BCFC for a number of years, was with the Kamloops Broncos for his first 3 years, and this year decided for greener pastures, and he's been a big weapon for the Okanagan Sun.
Yeah, he's over 200 yards now for the season. Had a couple of touchdown receptions, and that was the type of play right there that I was hoping to see maybe in the second half, that the Rebels will use Zion Brown. Like, get the ball in the hands of your best athletes as quickly as possible and as often as possible.
Liam Kruger on second and short, going to scramble out of the pocket, but a nice tackle made there by Bryce Ruther. Would be a first down, but I did see flags fly right at the snap, so we'll have to wait and see where this penalty is before deciding if it's a first down for Okanagan or not. It looks like it's against the Rebels, so Okanagan has the chance to decline here and move the chains regardless.
Heath Edelston is our man in the white hat today making the call, and it is against the Rebels, but and you're correct, Tyler, it is declined.
So that puts the ball at the 55-yard line, right at midfield here, and the Sun, again, on that 19-point barrage to end the first half, get the ball back here to start the second half. And I don't want to say they could put this game to bed here with a major score to start the half, but it makes it a very steep hill to climb as Jackson Allen on first down taking the snap, but jumping into the back there, that's Dominic Robinson with a big play, tackle for a loss. And if you're the Rebels defense, that's a good sign. It makes it second and long.
Yeah, Robinson came in on the blitz off the right side for the Rebels defense, off the left side for the Sun, unblocked, made his 9th tackle of the year.
So second and about 12 here for the Sun. Kruger in the gun, takes the snap, looking downfield, and it's going to be a screen pass to Allen, who holds onto the ball, and he is going to be brought down just short of a first down as the slip screen play worked to perfection, as Jackson Allen with a reception there, and that's going to move the Sun awfully close to a first down.
Yeah, Allen's not part of the offensive or the pass game very often, but again, with that type of a play, you're just getting the ball in the hands of your best running back, and then he has to the Rebels secondary has to deal with that. So it's a well-designed play. Smart play calling to start things off here for Okanagan in this third quarter, leading 26-7.
So 3rd and about 1, and the Sun are going to try for this, but a flag flies. I believe this would be a delay of game penalty. I can't see why there'd be another flag. Could be illegal, too many men on Okanagan, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. And after all that, the punt team is going to have to come out. It's an undisciplined penalty here by the Sun, and they're going to have to kick this ball away.
Well, that was the only stat that went in the favor of the Rebels in the first half. At halftime, the Sun flagged 7 times for 70 yards. The Rebels only 3 times for 35 yards. So that's an undisciplined penalty in the sense that they didn't get their substitution correct, and they took a couple of roughing penalties in the first half, being a little overzealous. But that's the only stat that the Rebels are winning in the first half of this game, unfortunately.
So Grady Hay going to have to punt this ball away, and it's another great kick. And Antoine Barrett going to take it near his 10, and there comes the Sun special teams unit in on a quick tackle. And the Rebels offense going to need to start near the 20-yard line here. And the offense a bit stagnant there in the second quarter after getting that big score to tie things up, and haven't seen a lot of success since.
Well, Ashton Davison got down there and made the tackle for Okanagan. So, we'll see now what adjustments Doug Lervold has made for the offense. You can't get back 19 points in one play. So at some point, need a positive drive, need to get a couple of big plays, maybe break a tackle here and there, hope for a couple of turnovers. You just have to chip away at this point.
Cancellari, empty backfield set, going to go for a deep ball to Zion Brown, and he's in double coverage and incomplete. As the Rebels looking for a big home run shot on the first play of their drive, but it falls incomplete, makes it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, once again, the Rebels are trying to get the ball to Zion Brown, but the Okanagan defense knows that. It's almost like they were in the huddle, double covered. So if they're going to keep double covering, that means someone's got to be open over the middle of the field in one-on-one coverage.
So 2nd and 10, and the Rebels offense going to need to find some answers here, as they got a lot of yardage to make up here and try to move the chains. 3 receivers out right, and that's where Cancellari is looking. He's got a man in Antoine Barrett, but good play by the Sun secondary, breaking up the pass, incomplete. Is trying to get a number down the field as that happened on the far side of us. I believe it was Austin Dunnell making the play to break up the pass, and that makes it 3rd down, and the West Shore faithful a little restless as this offense can't seem to get anything downfield.
Well, on the replay, Sebastian Gaspar had his back to the throw. He was not playing the ball. I don't know if this league has different rules, but every league I ever saw, if you turn your back on the play, that's pass interference. But it wasn't called. They can't challenge, and now you got a punt and then maybe no yards, and Okanagan's cooking with gravy again here early in the third quarter.
Keegan Curtis, the return man for the Sun, and no yards is in fact the call. A lot of BCFC teams just usually opt to take the no yards penalty than to give some receivers some space to make a big run. So the Rebels will happily take the no yards penalty, which is only about 10 yards, and Okanagan will take over in West Shore territory with their 2nd offensive possession of the second half here.
Again, Kruger was 10 out of 18 in throwing the football for 116 yards. He threw for a touchdown pass. He ran for a touchdown. Pretty efficient first half. When you talked earlier about they might have their quarterback controversy or competition, well, right now number 10 is not letting the other guy in.
Yeah, I don't even see Marcus Christos on the sideline. I've been looking for him all game, but I have yet to see a number 16 on the sideline yet. So could be a one-man show here. And Kruger got some pressure coming, going to get the ball away, and it is knocked incomplete as Gio Lanuzzi, the safety, breaks up the pass, and that was Gage Parker, the intended receiver. That would have been 6 points on the board had that been a completion, but instead it's 2nd and 10 near the 35.
Yeah, you don't tug on Superman's cape, and that's what Gio is in that safety spot. You throw that ball up there, he's going to knock that down 9 times out of 10. In his 5th year, Hale Rams, Mount Doug grad, But yeah, one of the best defenders in this league for a long time, and he showed it there.
So 2nd and 10 here. Kruger in the gun. He's got Jackson Allen. He's going to motion him out to be a receiver here. And Kruger got the pressure coming now. Going to get the ball away into double coverage and incomplete as Colton Meikle wasn't his intended receiver. But Isaiah Booten and Cam Cohn doubled up and broke it up. So it's now 3rd and 10, and we're going to see the leg of Grady Hay once again. Can he make another long field goal to extend this lead?
Double coverage. And Booten able there to knock it down in front of Michael.
Now the Rebels scrambling here for personnel. I got to make sure you don't take a delay game penalty and give up some extra yards here, because Grady Hay has the leg to kick a field goal, but it looks like it's just going to be a punt here.
So it's like they anticipated field goal, had that unit out there, and then Okanagan went with the punt.
And this one is going to be kicked by Hay right to Barrett, who's near his own goal line, and he is going to try and rush out of the end zone, not give up that single point, but he's not going to get much further than that. As special teams unit for the Sun, there's some pushing and shoving. Got to make sure you don't take a dumb penalty, especially when you're already at your 5-yard line. And it looks like cooler heads are going to prevail here, but good punt once again by Grady Hay. He's been a superstar today for the Sun in terms of kicking the long field goal and also hemming the Rebels in every time he gets the football. And the Rebels going to take over near the shadow of their own goalpost here.
Yeah, Braden Look was in there making sure that Antoine Barrett didn't take a penalty. So that was a smart play by Braden Look, stepping in and making sure his teammate didn't cause any more issues. But yeah, this is about as long as you can go in the Canadian game, with a big burst up the middle.
There's Carson Graham, and he breaks a couple tackles, but a 30-yard run by Carson Graham moves the chains for a big Rebels first down, and that's the first big gain we've seen since Jeremiah Beckwith caught that pass in the first quarter. Good sign for the Rebels offense and a big first down.
You are correct, Tyler Bennett. The big play's been few and far between today, and that's definitely got the crowd here at Starlight Stadium woken up a little bit.
So the ball up to the 35-yard line now. Cancellari in the gun, takes the snap, and is going to hand it off again. Why not? Carson Graham going to try to the outside, but this time there is nowhere to go, as there's some late hits going on here. Zion Brown unhappy, and these two teams don't like each other one bit, and we're starting to see tensions boil over a little bit.
Yeah, Michael Sneed came in and made the tackle. But yeah, I'm sure there's some language going on down there that luckily they're not mic'd up. Okanagan's going to play with a chip on their shoulder for sure in the second half, being on the road and up 26-7.
Here is Cancellari, 2nd and 10, going to throw for Zion Brown to the outside. He's got the reception, and he is going to be dragged down short of the first down marker, but still a gain of about 8 or 9. So now it's decision time for the Rebels. You're down 20. Probably got to go for this one to try and get the short yardage and keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, Liam O'Flynn hanging on for dear life with Zion Brown. And he had some help coming from Vicente Ferrara. But it's it looks like they gave him the first down.
It was a first down.
Yep.
Color me corrected.
No, that's hey. Right now, every Rebels fan is going with you right now.
So 8.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. The sun is hidden behind some pretty nasty looking clouds, so we'll be on rain watch here for the remainder of this quarter. Is Cancellari, handoff inside, Carson Graham with some daylight, and he is going to get another big gain on the ground. So the Rebels finding some room on the ground, and Carson Graham with back-to-back 20-plus yard runs has the Rebels in Okanagan territory here. Big first down.
Well, this takes me back to opening day here on July 18th, when you started with Williams, then he went to Graham, and he ended up with Harrinan in the running back room. And now it was Harrinan to start today, and all of a sudden you found the hot hand. It's Carson Graham. And good work by the boys up front again, by being led in the middle by Jonah Anderson in his 5th year out of Port Alberni. But getting that crease, and when the running back can find that first little seam and get into the secondary, and Carson Graham runs hard.
Yeah, and Carter Williams not dressing for this game. He's dealing with a lower body injury. So it's basically Graham and Harrinan as the backfield, and Innial Adunni, the third string running back, dressed for this one, number 22. So they've been running back by committee the last few years. They haven't really had anybody steal that number 1 job, and it seems like the dual backfield threats is working out so far for them.
Well, as we talked about at the end of the first half, you need to get a score. They didn't get it done in the first half. So this drive is pivotal to being able to go through the third quarter and into the fourth quarter feeling like you still have a shot. And as they found out in Nanaimo, anything can happen. Canadian football rules are a little different. Junior football is very unpredictable, right? Rebels thought they had that one in the bank, and the Raiders came back and won that game. So why not here today?
One-handed catch by Jeremiah Beckwith, breaking to the outside. Great play by the big man. It's another big gain of 20. And what a reception by Jeremiah Beckwith. Move the chains again. The Rebels are in the red zone.
Playing with some confidence. Ty Walker probably saved the touchdown here as he came in and cuts the legs out from underneath of Sedgwick just inside the 20-yard line.
So the Rebels knocking on the door here. The ball at the Okanagan 19-yard line. And let's see if the Rebels can cash in and make this a ball game here midway through the third quarter. Cancelari in the gun. Receivers in motion. Fakes the handoff. Throws to Zion. That's complete. And it's a gain of about 6 as Zion Brown has a handful of receptions this game. Hasn't had that big one yet. But he's a sure-handed receiver, and every time you go to number 4, he's usually going to come down with it. That makes it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Peach making a good strong tackle on Brown on the slant, but even if he slithers through that tackle, Zion Brown is in the end zone. So don't be afraid to run that play again. It's all timing. And if the timing's right, Zion Brown is virtually impossible to cover.
Cancelari in the shotgun once again, fakes the handoff. He's going to throw a deep ball for Zion Brown, and it is incomplete, but pass interference on Zion Brown, so that's going to move the ball up, a free play for the Rebels, and I believe that's going to spell a first down. We'll wait for the official ruling, but go to number 4 and either draws a penalty or comes down with it. Either way, it's a successful play.
Well, again, that's the beauty of calling plays in Canadian football. We got a 20-yard end zone, not a 10-yard end zone. Zion Brown's got a lot of room, and that's one-on-one coverage, and that man was beaten. He knew it, so he took the penalty, because otherwise, if he lets Brown run free, unless Cancelari is throwing the ball into another area code, it's an easy touchdown. So they live to play another day on the Okanagan defense. I think that was a good business decision by the Okanagan Sun, taking that penalty.
So 1st and goal from the 2 as the Rebels look to inch closer and make this a 2-score football game. Receivers in motion. Cancelari takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to the right, and it is caught by Jeremiah Beckwith. Touchdown Rebels. And don't call this game over yet as the Rebels offense finds its stride, and it's a 2-score game.
Good read by Cancelari. He had his options. He could have given the ball to Graham, but he knew he had his big man there. It's a mismatch, and that is a Rob Gronkowski type of Tom Brady touchdown back in the day for New England. That guy's really tough to cover down near the goal line.
So here comes the extra point kick that is very crucial at this point because it's a 13-point game at the moment. Make that 12. So again, the Rebels do their job on offense here, and now it's the defense's turn to get the ball back in the offensive hands and continue to chip away here midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, this really becomes now all about the defense. Need a turnover. No more big long drives.
Yeah, and there you see on your screens the
yes.
looming dark clouds that are coming over Starlight Stadium here. We haven't felt any raindrops yet, but it feels like we're only a few minutes away from some precipitation, which could play into throwing the ball out here. So we'll keep you posted as the weather here could play a factor in this second half. And again, this is not Jordan Kranz kicking this ball away. This is Jaron Harrinan kicking the ball away, and look at this one.
He's gonna get a
This is
point.
going to roll near the back of the end zone. The Sun have to get this out, otherwise it's a point for the Rebels, and they do get it out, and look out, here come the Sun with some room, and they're going to be brought out of bounds as Miles McPherson makes the tackle, but Vincente Ferreira had some room there, and it looked like he might have been dialing up a house call.
Well, when it bounced into the end zone, I just assumed he would just drop to a knee and give him the point and take the ball, in good field position, but he had other ideas. And yeah, that's a missed tackle away from being about 15-yard touchdown, and that would be the last thing. That would be check, please, if the Sun were able to score on that play.
Yep, and now if you're the Sun, when does clock management come into play again? There's still 5.5 minutes, just shy of 6 minutes to go here in this third quarter, but they've burned one timeout already, much like they did in the first half, as Kruger takes the snap, and he's going to throw out to the right, and that one is going to be incomplete, as it was a bit of a low throw, and that was Aiden S. Pennebecker, the intended receiver, but that's going to make it 2nd and 10 for the Sun.
I was anticipating it being Jackson Allen time. Basically just keep handing him the rock and burn 5 minutes out of the third quarter. Don't really need to score more points, but the clock is the enemy of the Rebels now. So I think the Rebels think, thank you very much for trying that little pass. Took no time off the clock, and now it's 2nd and long.
So Kruger in the shotgun. Takes the snap, here comes the pressure, and Kruger going to roll out to the left. He's got men all over him, chasing him down. He's going to get the ball out. Here comes the throw, and it is incomplete as Aliezer Jakob breaks it up. And that's going to be 3rd down, and you got to think the Sun are putting this football away, and the Rebels are going to get the ball right back.
That's a nervous moment right there for the Rebels coaching staff, because that looked like a hit in the back. If I saw an orange flag go in the air, I would not have been surprised. We take a look, you see the timing there of Jakob. The official said he was on time. Rebels will take that decision. And now they should get excellent field position, because as good as Hay is, that wind is really picking up and it's in his face.
Yeah. The gust of wind is blowing right at the Sun kicker here, so maybe a little less yardage on this punt. And here comes the snap, and are the Rebels offside? And Grady Hay gonna knee down in the end zone for a safety, but I believe the Rebels jumped the gun here. And now you make it 3rd and 5 and give the Sun the option at least to bring the offense back out. We'll have to wait and see.
Again, young guys getting excited. They're down by 12, but that's really the last thing that should be happening. Obviously they can't hear you, Tyler, saying, punting into the wind. Hello. The ball's not going to go very far. You don't need to. There should not even be a rush on. It should just be retreat and block and catch the ball. Right? Just don't turn it over. We're going to get good field position. So error in judgment there, because another set of downs, and then if the Sun decide. Although
it looks like the Sun declined the penalty, so they will give up the safety.
Okay.
So an interesting call there, but I guess the Sun opted, even if they do get the 5 yards and punt it away, the Rebels still start with good field position. So tack 2 points on the board, and hey, the Rebels are down by 10 here. They made a good push here in the third quarter to claw back into this football game, and if they get a score here, it's going to be an interesting 4th.
Yeah, 10 points. That's a two-score game. So if you can, even if you just kick a field goal a bit before the end of the quarter, 7 points. It happens real quick.
Yeah, a good response here by the Rebels in this third quarter. Again, down 19 at the half, and they've whittled this lead down to 10, and they have the football with 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. So a good response as Cancellari looking to his left for Aiden Bowles. It's caught, and he is going to be brought down in a hurry, as it's only a gain of about 4. As Riley Easton makes the tackle, and that's the first reception for Bowles today, and that's going to make it 2nd and 4.
Out of North Bay, Ontario, in his 4th year. That's his 10th catch of the season. He's going to go wide right, and he's actually going to go in the slot, and Zion Brown is going wide right. So watch for number 4 in red.
Cancelari, empty backfield set, looking through the middle for Jeremiah Beckwith, and it is incomplete, nearly intercepted. And what do you know, Jay? It's the infamous number 12 again, as he has been a problem in the backfield for Okanagan. That's going to bring up third down, and the Rebels are going to punt this football away.
Yeah, that young man has had a very good game. Not sure how he's not on the roster. But he's been real good today, number 12 in white.
Yeah, I want to say it's Deshane Peach because he normally wears 13. I bet you he left his jersey on the bus or, on the other side of the ferry. It's probably sitting in Okanagan. As Gio Lanuzzi going to punt this ball away now. And that's a pretty good kick as well. And this one is going to be returned by the Sun with an edge to work with. A good return here near midfield before he's brought down. But Ethan Bilo, the third string running back, getting the return there. And that's going to set up the Sun near midfield.
Yeah, there's a flag down at the 40-yard line behind Bilo. It was a good return, and it is holding against Okanagan, so that's going to back them up. Rebels will take any little advantage they can get here. Any little break that can go their way.
And again, those dark clouds now pretty much over us here at Starlight. No sunlight to speak of. And the wind howling on the field and up in the booth now. You can see the full Canadian flag there. And the elements are going to play a part in this finish one way or another. As Liam Kruger and the Sun offense take over at their own 30-yard line. First down, Kruger's going to be in the shotgun. Got Jackson Allen behind him. Is it going to be a handoff play? Let's wait and see. And there it is. Handoff to Jackson Allen. Looking for the outside edge. Going to break through to the middle. And flags fly in the backfield. And Jackson Allen still refusing to go down. There's a bit of a dog pile here. And looks like this one might be against Bryce Ruther again. No, it's against the Sun. So looks like there's going to be more room to work with here for the Rebels defense.
7 penalties for 70 yards in the first half against Okanagan. And they're continuing to shoot themselves in the foot here and leave the door open for the Rebels. And again, good teams kick the door down. They don't peek. So let's see. And also, this is important to me, Tyler, that with 3:47 remaining in the third quarter, you want a 3 and out. And at the very least, with this wind, the way it's been howling all of a sudden, the wind will be at their back for a field goal attempt if that's what they have to settle for.
Yep.
Because it makes it tougher in the fourth quarter when the Rebels will be going into the wind if the wind continues.
So that's a 10-yard penalty, so that makes it 1st and 20. And it's going to be a shotgun formation here for the Sun, and Kruger going to look to throw this one up the middle. He's got a man. It's complete, but a good job by Bryce Ruther to break in on the tackle. That was Devontae Mosey, who had the huge touchdown reception in the first half. I think that's his first reception since then. It's a short gain, makes it 2nd and 12.
Yeah, they burned the Rebels in the first half, but they've kept them under wraps to this point. But it is a first down for Okanagan. And again, the clock is their friend at the moment, and it's the Rebels' enemy.
So 2nd and 12. Kruger in the shotgun. He's got Jackson Allen. You got to think this is going to be a pass with the 12 yards to go. And he's going to take the snap in the pocket. Here comes the pressure. Kruger going to escape up the middle, going to try and scramble for it himself, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the first down marker. And now if you're Travis Miller and the Sun, do you gamble to try and get that first down, or do you kick this ball away?
So who am I, Kreskin? No, they're going to make the right decision, whatever they decide to do. Good work there by Caleb Harim. You're talking to me earlier about the fact that they have these different rules about who they can bring in. He's a UK lad from Bristol. Made a good tackle there.
So the Sun are going to gamble on 3rd and 1. Can the Rebels come up with a big stop here? This would be a pivotal moment if the Rebels can break the line and get the stop, and it's going to be a direct snap to Jackson Allen, and he is going to be very close. Hold on here. Both teams pointing each way, and if this is a turnover on downs, look out.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Yeah, it's. I've been saying all day, get the ball in the hands of your best players, but I'm not so sure this was a bit of a strong word to say, an arrogant decision by a good team. It's almost like Okanagan saying, we are the defending champions in the BCFC. We're here to prove it. We're on the road. We're not worried about this. We trust our defense. But maybe the smart money says, you punt that away and make the Rebels again have a long field to play on with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Your lead is only 10. They're going to bring the chains in here, so I'll see. You're at the mercy of the spot.
Yeah, Okanagan seemed to think they had it when the big package went off the field here, and they are correct. First down, Okanagan. So they come back all the way from being 1st and 20 deep in their own zone to moving the chains here, and that is huge for the Sun with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And the Rebels so close to getting a turnover on downs here. That would have flipped the script here in the second half, but Rebels defense going to have to stiffen up here and try and get the ball back.
Arrogance is in the eye of the beholder. If you make, now it's just a good call. It was a confident call.
So 1st and 10, Kruger handoff to Jackson Allen up the middle, and the Rebels defensive line once again doing a great job as Zamir Clayton gets in there with Miles McPherson also helping out, and it's a short gain if any. Make it 2nd and long here for the Sun.
Zamir Clayton out of Tampa, Florida. Getting in there, but this is what I expected from the Okanagan Sun with where we are in the game, what the scoreboard says. Again, it doesn't matter what the sport is. When you're managing a game, the scoreboard dictates what your strategy is. So it's not surprising at all. Number 7 is going to sleep well on the ferry and on the bus because he's going to see the ball a lot as this game progresses into the fourth quarter.
Kruger in the shotgun, takes the snap on 2nd and 7, going to throw, and it is almost picked off as Cam Cohn was in coverage. A bit of an overthrow there by Kruger, lucky not to have that ball turned over. And Grady Hay and the punt team come out to kick this ball away on 3rd and long.
Well, Noah Bohart has a touchdown already today. He was the intended receiver, but Kruger missed him, and I think the fact that he missed him, that caught Cohn off guard. He didn't know the ball. He didn't expect the ball to come in his hands. That's 3 today where the Rebels could have had an interception, but weren't able to hang on. Still sitting on 12 for the year.
So Grady Hay going to kick this ball away and gets off a good punt. It's Cam Cohn going to do the returning duties here for the Rebels. Good secure catch and going to look for some help. And he is going to be met early by that special teams unit of the Sun near the 35-yard line. And the Rebels get the ball back. Defense does their job, and now the Rebels going to try and make this a one-score game late here in the third quarter.
Yeah, down to the final half a minute in this third quarter. Good coverage there by Okanagan. They swarmed all over Cohn. But again, he secured the ball. That's really the most important part at this point. 26-16. Okanagan Sun leading. One of these teams is leaving 4-1 today. The other falls to 3-2.
Cancelari in the gun on 1st down, and it is Carson Graham with a good heavy run on 1st down, breaks a couple tackles, and that's going to make it 2nd and manageable as Carson Graham, the featured back here in the second half, doing a good job keeping the ball on the ground.
Yeah, Grayson Statham was able to bring him down from behind. But no, Graham is the man that they're feeding the rock to at the moment.
So that makes it 2nd and about 4. Cancelari in the shotgun, receivers in motion, takes a snap, he's looking to his left. Pressure coming, Cancelari going to scramble away, he drops the football, and I believe the Rebels have a holding penalty pending here, so it's really a free play here for the Sun, but look at Cancelari go regardless, as he is going to scramble all the way for a 1st down. Terrific play by the quarterback, but I believe there's a holding call in the back against the Rebels, so I believe this play, despite the great effort, I think it's coming all the way back.
Well, he ran about 60 yards to get 12, and then it's not going to count, unfortunately. But again, all these plays still go on film. Visiting teams going forward, whether it's the Langley Rams, the Raiders in 2 weeks, that play's still there. Those defensive coordinators are going to look at that going like, hey, I know that was a holding penalty, but look what this kid can do. Got to keep containment. Can't let him get outside. Especially when this, you get to late September into October playoff. We're getting cloudy and maybe rainy here today. Well, you're guaranteed come playoff time, the weather might not be your friend. So if you got a quarterback that can do that, that causes a lot of problems for defenses.
So that was a big penalty. That was about 15 yards penalty there for the Rebels, so they're looking at about 2nd and 15 here. And they're going to need a big play here to keep their offense on the field. Cancelari going to have to drum up the magic again here. In the shotgun on 2nd and long, takes the snap, looking to his left. He's going to throw a screen pass, and it is caught by Antoine Barrett, but not nearly enough for a first down. So that's going to make it 3rd down, and punt team probably on the way here for the Rebels, who are going to kick this ball away at the end of the 3rd quarter, and not much doing on that drive.
No, whatever Cancelari wanted over the middle of the field, it wasn't there. So he went to his check down and then hoped that maybe Barrett could make a man miss and maybe get a block. But Okanagan, again, you're not defending champions. You're not 3-time national champions in your franchise history without bringing in good athletes that know what to do in key situations. And that was one where they just forced them to go, you have to go out of bounds. We're not going to have 3 guys miss a tackle. We're too good for that. So Cancelari is hoping for something good to happen. Again, you can't turn the ball over at this point. So they're going to go into the final quarter, down by 10, 2 scores. Very doable.
So there was actually a penalty in the backfield on that play, which gives the Rebels a first down near midfield. And you can't end the quarter on a flag, so they get a free play here to end the 3rd quarter, 1st and 10 on their own 50. Big turn of events there, as it looked like the Rebels were going to kick that ball away, and now they get a free play. And here comes Carson Graham up the middle, and another big run by number 30 as Carson Graham with another 20-plus yard run. I got to see what he gets at the end of this game as he's putting in his work for BCFC Offensive Player of the Week. What a run by Carson Graham, and that moves the chains again. Rebels into Sun territory, first down.
Well, that's a huge turn of events as we end the 3rd quarter. But to go from a check down swing pass to end the quarter, and all of a sudden another penalty that wasn't necessary, was nowhere near the play. So undisciplined again from Okanagan. That's been their one check mark on the bad side for them today. They've been very good, but they've been very lack of discipline at times. And then Carson Graham ripping off another one, the Calgary native in his 2nd year. Came in with 147 yards for the season. He might have that today.
Yep. Probably doubled his totals by the time this is all said and done. Big game for number 30. And just taking a quick look at the skies, and well, it's holding up. I'm feeling for rain right now, and I'm not feeling anything, but those clouds are dangerous looking for sure as we start the 4th quarter. And Rebels again down 10, but in Okanagan territory here to start the 4th. And Carson Graham once again goes up the middle, gains about 4. And they're just feeding the hot hand at this point. That time the Okanagan defense did their part. That makes it 2nd and 6.
Yeah, heading towards the end zone to our broadcast right. It's all nice and sunny over there. It's the other end. The Okanagan end is where all the cloud is, and it can stay down there. Just stay down there. Rebels want to score in the sunny end.
2nd and 7 after the short gain on first. Cancelari in the shotgun, going to go for a deep ball. Got Zion Brown in single coverage. Here comes the ball. Incomplete and no flag on the play. It was a handsy play down near the goal line, but this time they don't get it, and now it's decision time for the Rebels. Are they going to try for the field goal on 3rd down? They were in a similar position in the first half. They decided to go for it and threw a pick. Yeah. And the Rebels faithful not happy with the call there. It's 3rd down.
Well, Riley Easton was in coverage, and that pass really turned into a pop-up. If it's got more of a lower trajectory to it, Zion will run past Easton, makes the catch in the end zone, but instead it was a pop-up, and so Easton was able to get in position and in the officials' judgment able to knock it down. But you want to be able to throw that a little bit further downfield and let Zion Brown use his athletic ability.
Big play here for the Rebels. 3rd and 7, trying to stay on the field. Cancelari rolling out immediately, going to throw, got a man! Josh Nevin makes the catch. Big play for the Rebels offense to stay on the football field, and they are officially knocking on the door in the red zone. Big time Rebels first down.
Yeah, Josh Nevin found the little spot, and Cancelari was able to find him. Then we got a little hamstring issue over there for Barrett. Number 13 having some difficulty cramping up, it appears. But yeah, good. The rollout and receivers like Brown and Bowles are going deep. And Nevin did a good job coming off shallow. Made himself available. Good pass, good reception. Need to get in the end zone, and then it's going to be nervous time for Okanagan.
So while we're waiting here, we'd like to thank everyone who's tuning in on TELUS Optic, BCFC TV, and the CJFL featured game of the week. We've got a fun finish for everybody watching at home, and welcoming everybody in from the Okanagan, from BC, maybe if you're watching from the East Coast. Thanks for tuning in to BCFC TV. And for those here at Langford, don't miss any of the last 3 home games. We've got another good one September 5th. The VI Raiders, the second Battle of the Rock of the season, 2 of 3 meetings. And again, we've touched on their first meeting a couple times, and if it's anything like the first one, you're not going to want to miss being here at Starlight Stadium for that one. So here we go. Red zone opportunity here for the Rebels. 1st and 10 near the 20. Cancellari under pressure, rolls out to the right, going to look downfield, and it is going to be broken up incomplete as the mysterious number 12 in coverage again. Aiden Bowles, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10 near the 19.
I'm with you earlier. I'm going with Shane Peach.
He's been all over the field.
He has been peachy. He's been outstanding. So got to pick on somebody else because he's been around the football all day, and usually when he has been around the ball, he's made a positive play for Okanagan.
Deshane Peach with 15 tackles on the year. That's 2nd in the BCFC, 2 interceptions, and he's also got a pick-6 touchdown to his name as well. So Deshane Peach, an impact defensive player for the Sun all season, and he's made his mark today for sure. So clock running, 13 minutes to go. 2nd and 10 for the Rebels at the 18-yard line. Empty backfield, Cancellari. Here's the pressure, gets it to Beckwith, caught, and he's got some room to run. And Beckwith fighting for every yard. Flags fly, and he's brought down. A big reception for big number 33. Flags do fly. We'll have to wait and see, but a big reception by the Ontario product.
Well, he put his foot in the ground. I'm looking for a face mask, and can't tell from that angle on the replay, but again, our officials will let us know. It is against Okanagan.
Yeah, it's a face mask.
Yeah.
1st and goal going to be from the 1. And the Rebels are knocking on the door to make this one a 3-point game with lots of football left here in the 4th quarter.
But the best part of that play for Sedgwick was the fact that, again, once he caught the ball, he went directly at the goalpost. He didn't drift out to the outside and lose yardage. He dared 2 or 3 orange hats to come and get him. And they had to take a penalty to get him down.
1st and goal from the 1. Cancellari. Hand off to Carson Graham, and he is going to go into the end zone for a touchdown as Carson Graham has his 2nd on the day, and the Rebels are right in this football game. It's a 3-point game pending the extra point as Carson Graham continues to have a monster game here.
Oh, it's game on. No question about it now. Carson Graham's been running hard all day. He would not be denied. And the Rebels were outscored 19-0 in the 2nd quarter, have flipped the script, and now Bowles will try to make it a 3-point game.
Here's the snap, the hold, the kick. It is through. And like you said, 19 unanswered points for the Sun in the 2nd half. How about 14 unanswered by the Rebels here? As it is 26-23 with 12:37 to go here in the 4th quarter, and this is anyone's football game. This is exactly what you signed up for when you tuned into this broadcast.
Yeah, 2 teams at 3-1. They played in the BCFC championship game a year ago. So when you're sitting 26-23 with 12:37 to play, if you just tuned in, you're like, well, that's what I kind of expected. Two heavyweights going after it. Well, it was 26-7 at halftime, so a lot of people might have turned it off and said, well, this is no good. I'm going to do something else. Well, shame on you. And if you're back, don't go away. Lots of good football left to be played here at Starlight.
So Jaron Harrinan going to kick this ball away for the Rebels. He had a great kick earlier in the third quarter. And here he goes. It's another low boomer that's going to reach the backfield here. And Gage Parker going to have to return this one on the sideline, looking for a seam. Oh, look out! Gage Parker down the sideline, nowhere in sight. And he is going to go all the way for a touchdown. That is Vicente Ferreira. Oh, what a turn of events here at Starlight. The Rebels just make it a one-score game and tack 6 points on the board for Okanagan. And pending the extra point, the Rebels still have a 10-point deficit to work under as the Sun special team gets it done.
Yeah, Logan Belanger was the last one who had a shot at him, but he couldn't get the angle, and well blocked. He went untouched. He didn't have to break a tackle. He didn't juke anybody. He just found a seam and exploded through it.
Extra point kick, tough hold there, and Brady Hay didn't get under it at all. There is a flag, however, so
it's going to be.
Okanagan might have a second crack at this.
You're going to. It's against the Rebels. Probably got in a little early. That's why they were able to block it. As much as the snap wasn't great, but yeah, that definitely takes the wind out of the sails after being down 19 points. Get it back to within 3, and in the blink of an eye, literally. Special teams coming through. That's 2 now for Okanagan. Fumble recovery on a punt, and now a kickoff return, and the extra point now is good. So now it's right back to being a 10-point game.
Well, if you're the Rebels, I guess the silver lining is that you didn't burn any of the clock there on that possession. You're just right back to getting the football. But more work to do here now after the punt return touchdown by Vicente Ferreira. And boy, just when it felt like the Rebels were finally knocking on the door, they're back to square one a little bit here. Again, that's Okanagan's first point scored in the second half, but a bit of a backbreaker given it was a punt return where, again, like you said, Jay, just untouched the whole way.
Yeah, it just broke open, and he was fast enough to outrace everybody in red. So another test. These are defining moments for the players and for the coaching staff. They need to know, what are we made of? Can we punch back? Do we turtle? You got Brown and Cohn back to return.
Brady Hay, after making the successful extra point kick, is going to boom this one, and it looks like Zion Brown and Cam Cohn a little bit not on the same page, but it's going to be Cohn that returns this one out up the middle, and he is going to be brought down near the 30-yard line. So a decent return there, and Brown and Cohn kind of got their numbers crossed a little bit there, but nonetheless a decent return, and that's where the Rebels will take over.
Yeah, no offense to Cam Cohn, but number 4, he was back there for a reason. And whether he needs to be more vocal, and as like a baseball situation, center fielder he should have been calling off his left fielder there and say, I got this. That's why I'm back here. Cohn got him, to the 30-yard line. That's great, but Brown could still be running. Who knows?
So the Rebels offense taking over near the 30-yard line. 12:19 on the clock here. We're not into time being a super big enemy here for the Rebels, but it's going to get there. As it's going to be a shotgun formation here for Cancellari. Takes the snap and is going to fake the handoff and throw, and it's the Sun defensive line getting their hand in on that one. I believe that's Mitch Hickingbottom who got a hand on that one, make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, get that big paw up. Once they can't get through the offensive line, and defensive linemen are told at least get big, and he might get in the way, which they did there.
So 2nd and 10. Ball still at the Rebels 30. Looks like they're going to go for a spread offense here. Shotgun. Takes the snap. Cancellari going to look to throw in the pocket. Got Zion Brown. It's caught. Big reception. Can Zion go? And he is going to be hit big time midfield. And number 12 again. I'm going to say that's Peach.
We're going with
he's been
Peach.
all over the football today.
Oh, yeah.
but a huge reception by Zion Brown before taking the big hit from Peach, and that moves the chains close to midfield. Rebels first down.
Again, elite offensive play there from Brown. That ball is not on target. It's behind him. But again, he has very strong hands, gets two hands on the ball virtually every time it's thrown near him, and then able to get upfield and try to make something happen. Unfortunately for Zion, he was going laterally, and then Peach came in and lowered the boom on him.
Was going south on the northbound highway.
Yeah, he's still looking for a license plate on that one, but guarantees somebody told him it's Peach. Yeah, I figured.
There's a screen pass to Jaron Harrinan, but that play going nowhere is orange and white uniform swarm number 18 there. It's a loss of yards on first down, and Cancelleri and the offense going to have to pull another rabbit out of the hat here on 2nd and long.
Yeah, the Rebels have a bye next week, so they'll have extra time to prepare for the VI Raiders. So the Raiders are playing next week against Okanagan. So that's a little scheduling advantage that the Rebels will need to take advantage of that. But for right now, they got 10 minutes left in this game, and they trail by 10.
2nd and 11, still on West Shore's side of the football field here. Cancelleri, empty backfield set, going to roll out of the pocket immediately, looking downfield, going to have a man, and it is going to be caught by Zion Brown, and I believe that's another West Shore first down as number 4 finds a soft spot in the coverage and moves the chains. Big Rebels first down.
That was nicely done by Anthony Cancelleri here. He threaded the needle, 3 orange hats in the way, but he threw the ball in a spot where only Brown could get to it, and Zion did a good job getting down and getting his hands underneath that ball, but well thrown by Cancelleri.
So now the Rebels enter Sun territory again here. Ball near the 45. Cancelleri in the shotgun takes the snap, and it's a handoff play to Jaron Harrinan up the middle, and that is smash mouth football. It's a gain of about 4 right up the middle. As number 18, Jaron Harrinan, getting some reps in and maybe giving Carson Graham a bit of a breather here after the game he's had.
Well, I'm looking down at the Rebels bench, and a telltale sign is the fact that Graham still has his helmet on, and he's pacing. He's kind of waiting for the tap, going get back in there. So it looks like he's healthy and he's ready to go. But right now, Doug Liverpool wants to show Okanagan a little different look, and obviously Harrinen's had a very good season since opening day and being their best running back that day.
Here is Cancelleri with a deep throw downfield, but it's over the head of Aiden Bowles, incomplete. So that makes it 3rd down and long, and it looks like the Rebels going to try and hem in the Sun here with 8:41 to go. And it's starting to get down to crunch time here, where if you're going to punt the ball away, you better get it back in a hurry here if they're the Rebels.
Oh, Aiden Bowles is wide open there. Looked like it was blowing coverage in the secondary by the Sun, because the way they reacted, there's a lot of palms up like I thought you had him. And Cancelleri there missed his man. Unfortunate. Came in at 48% pass completion. That's not good enough if you want to be a championship team, I'm thinking. Ooh.
So Jordan Kranz with a punt that maybe goes 10 yards.
Speaking of not good enough, that's unfortunate for Kranz. He's usually very good at angling balls and putting the other team in a bad spot. Unfortunately, that one ended up in his bench. So a couple of unfortunate plays. Now the defense needs to bail out the quarterback and the kicker here with 8.5 to play in the half.
Zion Brown looks like he might have had an injury down there on the sideline, but it looks like he's just gathering his breath. Looks like he's going to be okay. And Jordan Kranz, I believe, is dealing with a leg injury, so they've been kind of playing around with punters and kickers. And again, Jaron Harrinen's kicked a couple, Gio Lanuzzi's punted a couple. He's definitely not at 100% because he's had some tough times there. Here's an offside against the Rebels. Free play for the Sun, and hey, they don't even need to accept the penalty because that's a big first down. As number 81, that's Noah Borhout, already has a touchdown today, and that's a big reception. That's going to move the chains for a first down, as long as this one's against the Rebels, which I believe it is.
Yeah, virtually impossible to stop a play that is timed correctly with a slant, and the quarterback hits his receiver in stride. The man that he beat off the line is already trailing. Now someone has to come up from the secondary and make a tackle on a man who's running at full speed. So well-executed play there by Okanagan, and now they're in Rebels territory once again, leading by 10.
First and 10, Kruger fakes the handoff and throws. It's going to be caught and out of bounds on the reception. That would be Devontae Mosey, his third reception today, and it's a healthy gain on first down. However, he was out of bounds, so that's going to help the Rebels a little bit on the clock, but make it second and 1.
Yeah, Mosey had the big touchdown reception in the first half. Just like Zion Brown, we talk about those strong hands that receivers need to have. That was a fingertip reception on a bullet thrown by Kruger.
So 2nd and 1. Got to assume this is a free play for the Sun. They might dial up a long ball here, knowing that they've only got a couple yards to work with in West Shore territory. Let's see where they go. Shotgun, faking the handoff is Kruger stepping in the pocket. He's going to scramble out. He's got the first down, and he's going to take a hit from Miles McPherson on the way down, but another good improvisation by Kruger. He's scrambled a few times today, and he usually finds the seam, move the chains. It's an Okanagan first down.
Yeah, he is a rushing touchdown today, so he showed his athletic ability there. And the play fake, because obviously Allen's a natural choice just to get a yard, and then he took it himself, which means that's one less hit that his running back has to take. So smart play by the quarterback.
So 1st and 10 at the Rebels 34. Kruger in the shotgun, and this time it is a handoff to Jackson Allen, and Zamir Clayton in immediately, although a flag does fly. So we'll have to see if this one is against West Shore. Clayton seems to think that it's potentially against him. His body language screams against him, but let's wait and see here on the first down play.
Flag was already down as we have a peek at the replay, but our referee today, Heath Edelston, pointing out the Rebels, and the chains are going to move.
And it was a face mask against Zamir Clayton, so 15-yard penalty, and all of a sudden the Sun knocking on the door here with 7 minutes to go. The ball on the 19-yard line of the Rebels, and if they get a score here, they are in full control of this football game.
Well, I mentioned earlier that Jackson Allen, no fumbles this season, and on that last play, he had it wrapped up like he had his firstborn baby in his arms.
Shotgun snap here. Kruger looking end zone, got a man feet downfield, and it is incomplete, as that was Devontae Mosey again. And Tyson Sopp doing a great job of breaking that one up at the last minute. It looked like that was going to be 6 on the board.
Yeah, when it left the hands of Kruger, it looked good for Okanagan. And as Mosey went up in between the two defenders, he just was not able to bring it down. Sopp was there, yes, but it was a catchable ball.
2nd and 10 at the 19. Clock is running as we're under 6.5 to go here at Starlight Stadium, and the Rebels needing some help. Got to limit this drive to a field goal at the very least. Empty backfield set here for Kruger. He's going to scramble to the right immediately, looking end zone. Going to throw for a man. Got a man, and incomplete, in and out of the hands, as that's Chad Alexander, who had all sorts of room and time, but it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. And it looks like the Sun are going to have to settle for a field goal here.
The Rebels definitely caught a break there. That hit number 6 right on the number 6 on his jersey. They used to say that about defensive players, right? They drop one, like an interception, they drop it. And he goes, well, that's why you're on defense. You have no hands. But he's on the offense, so.
So Grady Hay, 30-yard kick here. This is a chip shot for Grady Hay, as it's a good hold, a good set, and this one is up, and it is through. Tack 3 points on the board, and the Sun extend their lead to 13 points. That makes it a 2-possession game with 5:57 to go, so the Rebels need to work fast, and they also need to be effective here in the last few minutes if they want to make this one close and itch back into this football game.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns now. So you need a big play. They need to meet a defensive stand, and then he can work about getting a drive near the end. But at some point, something big has to happen.
Again, we'd like to thank everyone who's tuning in from coast to coast. It's the CJFL featured game of the week. We're also on Telesoptic TV here in BC, and as always, we're on BCFC TV. We'd just like to thank everyone who's tuning in to this heavyweight matchup here between the two top teams in the BCFC, as Josh Nevin with a 15-yard reception there from Anthony Cancellari, and that's going to move the chains, and the Rebels are going to need a lot of those here. Quick plays, quick strikes, and lots of first downs here, and they get one there.
Have good solid hit in the secondary from Vicente Ferrara. He's put his mark on this game with a touchdown kickoff return, and second time today that the Rebels, Barrett has had hamstring issues, cramping issues.
So while Barrett is gaining his form, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here for the West Shore Rebels. As again, they have a bye next week, but then September 5th, you're going to want to be here at Starlight Stadium for the Battle of the Rock Part 2 between the Rebels and the Raiders. And then they are hosting for the third straight week against the Prince George Kodiaks on September 12th. And then they have to run the gauntlet on the road. They have at Langley and at Okanagan to close out September. Two crucial games with huge playoff implications. And that will really set the picture of where we're going to be come playoff time, as Cancellari on 1st and 10, looking for Zion Brown, but that is incomplete, a low throw. And that's going to make it 2nd and 10 here with 5:22 remaining on the clock.
Yeah, the pressure came from Higginbottom. It made Cancellari throw a little quicker than he wanted to, so he was off target with that pass. Brown had sat down in the defensive coverage. He was open, but Cancellari wasn't able to set his feet and make the throw like he wanted to.
There you saw Sun defensive coordinator Shane Beatty, one of the most animated coaches you'll ever see in any level of football. He coached with the Rebels here for a number of years prior to COVID and made the switch up to Okanagan and has been very successful, as Cancellari on 2nd down going to throw, and it is intercepted. And that is a huge turnover as Riley Easton comes up with the football, and now the Rebels are really at the mercy of the clock here. Tough turnover, and the Sun, don't want to say that's the nail in the coffin, but the Rebels now have a giant mountain to climb here late in the 4th.
Yep, sliding catch. Again, a pass off the target. And really in only one area, if you're doing a ledger, you know, the undisciplined penalties for Okanagan, and sometimes when you win, it's like, well, that's our identity. No, we'll live by the sword, we'll die by the sword. But otherwise, defensively, they've been good. They've won the turnover battle. They've won the special teams battle so far today.
And here's a throw, and Liam Kruger nearly threw it right to Cam Cohn, who had the ball slip in and out of his hands, and that would have been a turning point here in the 4th quarter, but it's just an incompletion, make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that pass is nowhere near his intended receiver, so maybe there's a miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback, but again, that's 4 now by my count. That normally the Rebels, when they look at the film, will go, we usually catch those. That's why we lead the league in interceptions. 0 for 4 today with catchable balls in the secondary.
Yeah, the Rebels' defensive line has done their job for the most part in limiting Jackson Allen. He's only had 1 or 2 big runs this game, but the secondary haven't come up with the interceptions yet. As Kruger has an empty backfield set, he is going to throw a dart downfield, and it is caught! And that is going to be the ball game, folks. Touchdown Okanagan, as Tyler Craver goes down the seam for the score, and I think I can say that is the final nail in the coffin today.
Yeah, you can pretty much close the lid. That was a missile thrown by Kruger. See how he threads the needle. Craver has his 2nd touchdown today. Cohn, all he could do is just watch his man go the distance. And now it's a lot to a little here at Starlight Stadium.
So the Rebels, again, within 3 points. 3 points at the start of the 4th quarter, and the punt return touchdown puts the Sun up 10, and they haven't looked back since. As Grady Hay kicks the extra point onto the roof here at West Hills. And that extends the lead as the Sun are up 20 points once again. And the road is on here at Starlight, and it appears Okanagan is going to take the first battle here between these two teams.
Well, there's an old saying in boxing, you have to knock the champ out to become the champ. You don't win on points. And for now, for this day, August 22nd, they've acted like champions. Right? Jumped out, hung in there for the first quarter, tie game, ran off 19 straight points in the second quarter. Rebels punched them back, got them right in the chin, got them staggered, but then kickoff return touchdown, and they just literally run away in the fourth quarter here. And it's going to look like it was, somebody just checks the score going, oh, by 20? Wow,
There is an onside kick recovery as the Okanagan Sun are just adding intent to injure here.
Well, yeah,
this tricky sneak play gives the Sun the football back, and they're just putting some salt in the wound here, trying to stake it home that they're on top.
Well, again, we use that word. Oh, I used that word arrogance earlier, but if you pull it off, it's just confident. That type of play right there. That's building towards September 26th and then into October. That's what Okanagan's doing right here. You want to, you want to beat the best. You're gonna have to play with the best. And right now they're just showing why they're the defending champions in all facets of the game.
So the Sun sideline jacked up, and the Rebels faithful starting to trickle out here in the dying moments as Jackson Allen up the middle, nothing doing there as the Rebels D-line gets the stop, and the Rebels defense coming into this game leads the BCFC only 2.8 yards against the rush. And, to their credit, they've done a great job in limiting Jackson Allen today.
I'm a little surprised that Jackson Allen's still in the game, quite honestly. You don't want to risk an injury. Somebody falls on him and by accident. I mean, obviously the Rebels aren't going to do anything to him to try to injure him, but you think you want to give some younger players some reps here. There's just over 3 minutes to play, and the Sun lead by 20, but that's their decision. Starting quarterback still in there as well.
Shotgun snap, and Kruger has some time to throw. He's got a man, Colton Meikle, with a huge hit there as the big man gets tackled near the 35. And Meikle's a little slow to get up there as the Rebels kind of swarmed in after that big hit. And this is where, in years past, the Rebels have kind of come unglued a little bit in terms of their composure. And, big hit there as you see on the replay, but Colton Meikle, just a specimen of an athlete, comes down with a big catch.
Yeah, Ethan Douglas was on the receiving end, not on the giving end. But yeah, Michael's a man amongst boys in this league. And Douglas in his third year out of Saskatoon. Actually, that's not Douglas. Sorry, I'll take that back. Wrong number. Uniforms got scrunched up.
Regardless, there's a reason Colton Meikle made it out of training camp with the Lions and even got
Yes.
some preseason action, because when you're that big, you're that fast, you're that strong, there's going to find a place for you on the football field. And again, he's had some big years with the Kamloops Broncos. Again, he was double, if not triple teamed on that team for the last 3 years. And here with Okanagan, he gets an opportunity to maybe get some more yards, some more catches. And today it's been really the MO of the Sun to spread the ball around, and they've done a great job of doing that.
That is true. So in Michael's case, yes, he's literally a man amongst boys.
Jackson Allen with a good run here. That's a gain of about 10. As there was some injuries to the Rebels D-line there on the last play, so they're starting to go into the backups, and that's opening up some holes here for the run game for the Sun, and that's going to be a first down for Okanagan.
Yeah, nothing fancy about that play. Allen just right up the middle, smash mouth football. Using the clock to their advantage at some point. Let's see if the Rebels use their 2 timeouts remaining, but down by 20, not too much Connor Bryan can do at this point.
Kruger in the shotgun here, ball at the West Shore 22. And it's Jackson Allen again And he's going to break the outside hash. There is a flag here. Could be a hold as Allen tries to hurdle his way to a first down. He gets a gain of about 8 as Gio Lanuzzi makes the tackle. Well, let's wait and see where the flag is here, as this play could be coming back.
The Sun are moving back. There was a couple of plays there that could have been called for. Looked like they're pushing the back on the blocks.
So that will make it 1st and 25 as the ball is back now to the Rebels 33. So a lot of field ahead of the Sun here on first down, but with 1:54 to go, all they need to do is tuck the ball in and kill that clock.
Yeah, they don't need any more points. They just want to get out of here healthy and head on home and prepare to play against the Raiders next week.
Kruger in the shotgun, handoff again to Jackson Allen, and he's going to try and break through the middle, and he's going to take a big tackle as Caleb Ahiram and Zamir Clayton do a good job. And Jay, you were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Jackson Allen now down on the ground, and you got to wonder what the decision was to keep him in the game to this point, as he takes a clean big hit here, and he's going to need some help.
Yeah, he was reaching for his helmet immediately. But yeah, you'd like to think a team as good as the Okanagan Sun are and as good as an organization as they've been for so many years, you'd like to think they've got some depth at all positions, and there's really no reason for number 7 to be out there. But let's see if he, oh yeah, he cracked his back of his head, and you see if he's going for his helmet immediately. Yeah, he's, that's unfortunate. Good to see he's getting sitting up, and now he's finally going to head off, and that's it for his day. But
yeah, Jackson Allen, the premier option on the ground here, again came into today leading the BCFC in rushing yards. He will leave today probably leading the BCFC in rushing yards, barring what's happened in Langley. I know that their offensive weapons have a lot of yards on the ground, but glad to see he's okay and walking on his own power, and he's going to be all right.
Came in at 420 yards, so he's well over 500 for the season as they get to the midway point. He's standing down below here. I think a bit of a whiplash. Probably feel more sore tomorrow than he is right now.
Timeout called here by Okanagan with 1:26 to go here in the fourth quarter, and don't want to jump ahead of things, but for the Rebels, you're looking at the VI Raiders, who you lost by 2 against in their last meeting, and you don't want to be 3-3 after that matchup. And a lot of soul searching, I think, because now you're realistically against the playoff teams, you're 0-2. So that's got to be what's on the whiteboard moving forward.
Yeah, there's they got a week to do some improvement and really dissect the film or the video and make sure exactly, okay, now this is how we really stack up now. But that's fine. They got an extra week to prepare. And I know there's a rotation, so this is a big year for the BCFC champion because they go directly to the national championship game in their home stadium. Mm-hmm. So this is another reason why today was kind of a pivotal one. Not the end of the world. He didn't win today's ball game, but it certainly would have set you up at 4-1 and with a chance to maybe fill this stadium and play for a national championship. Still possible. This is just 1 week.
Shotgun snap here for Kruger on second and very long. Going to throw outside. That's going to be caught, but looks like it was Devontae Mosey stepped out of bounds before he made his cut inside. So that's going to make it 3rd and 10. And Grady Hay, who's been the BCFC Special Teams Player of the Week for, probably 90% of games he's played in.
They're going to rename it the Grady Hay Award.
Pretty much. They might as well at this point. He's going to set up for about a 30-yarder here. Would be his 3rd field goal make of the day. And when you look at points scored with the extra point kicks, with the field goals, he's right up there in the top scorers in the BCFC every year. Oh, he's going to try and tack on 3 more points here. And here's a high snap. And Hay going to kick this one up and through. 30-yard make there by Grady Hay, is third on the day, and that makes it 46-23 Okanagan with just over a minute to go.
Well, that's 261 points now for Okanagan as they reach the midway point of their season. So no matter how you slice it, no matter who you're playing, that's pretty impressive.
So the Rebels going to elect to just take this ball at their own 30.
And to put that into further perspective on the Rebels side of things, they give up 46 points today. In their previous 4 games, they'd given up 41.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends how you want to slice it. Like, oh, not a good day for the Reds. Well, Okanagan probably came in as advertised. They were the second best offensive team in the league, and only Langley had put more points on the board than them, and they came in, and on a road game, you put up 46 points, it's hard not to be impressed.
Here's a screen pass to Jaron Herron and on first down. Good run, but he is going to eventually be tackled. And there is a number 13 on the field, so maybe our mystery man isn't to Shane Peach because it was number 13 making the tackle there. Sure, we're going to find out when the BCFC names its Defensive Player of the Week. We'll find out who we were missing after all. But
somebody somewhere, some mom or dad is very upset. Not our fault, folks. We can only go on the information that we're provided.
So 1st and 10 after the first down, empty backfield set, and it's another screen pass to the outside this time. And there's a nice break of a tackle, and good tackle there by the secondary there. Otherwise, there was some daylight. It's going to try and get a license plate here. I think that was Nakai Riddington.
It is Nakai Riddington.
I think that's his first reception all year.
Yeah, it's
and a good run. Moves the chains, first down Rebels.
His first year at Mount Doug. He's on the stat sheet. He's official.
Yeah, good time for the Rebels to get some receivers in this game, get some backups in, get some guys who are going to be part of this program for a number of years. As Cancelari going to throw it to the left, and that one for Zion Brown incomplete. There was double coverage on there, and there was no positive outcome for that Rebels throw. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's one of those where incomplete was fortunate. Final 38 seconds. 46-23 for the Okanagan Sun. They're going to move to 4-1. I don't know if we can sneak in a final score from Nanaimo or not. It was 17-7 for the Rams at the half. Rams are trying to go to 5-0.
Here's a throw by Cancelari, and that one is intercepted off of the hands of Jeremiah Beckwith. And, well, that's just the exclamation point on what a day it's been. A lot of turnovers here for the West Shore offense. And
wow,
Vicente Ferreira, who's got the big day on both sides of the ball.
Oh, yeah. You know, if this is soccer, he's man of the match. He had the big kickoff return that really broke the Rebels back. They'd got to 23-20. And then in a blink, Ferreira was gone. He's had a pick. He's made tackles. He's been outstanding today.
So score update out of Nanaimo. Again, it was about a half an hour ago they posted it, so we're probably close to the final whistle. But it was 24-7 for the Rams after 3. So barring a substantial comeback from the VI Raiders in the fourth quarter, which is possible, looks like the Langley Rams are going to stay perfect and move to 5-0. So that'll set up the top 2 teams in the BCFC heading into next week, as Okanagan's going to go into victory formation here for the final couple downs and just run the clock.
That means if that score holds, which it may not, but that's only 34 points allowed by Langley in 5 weeks.
Both sides of the football, they've been the premier team so far.
Yeah, they came in at number 1. They started play today at 233 points, the Sun with 215. So they haven't played each other yet.
Nope.
Oh, no.
They did.
Yes, they did.
Yes,
Langley won. That's correct.
Langley in week 1, I believe.
Yeah, it was
week
early.
Week 1 or week 2.
Yeah, it was early. You're correct, yes. But they will play again.
They will.
In the regular season, and then who knows?
One more snap for the Sun in victory formation, and the clock winds down to 0, and that is the football game as the Okanagan Sun make the trek out to the West Shore and While the scoreboard tells you they dominated, there were some moments where the West Shore Rebels really could have turned the script on this game, but the defending champs held serve, and they take the 46-23 win here at Starlight and move to 4-1, and the Rebels got some thinking to do, got some work to do in practice, is falling to 3-2 on the season.
Well, we said in the outset, someone was leaving 4-1, someone was going to 3-2. So I don't think it was necessarily a 23-point difference between the two ball clubs. So I think the Rebels, this will sting for a few days for sure. But again, you just got to go back to the drawing board and figure out now when we're playing against the top teams in the league, that's what it looks like. And I think at the end of the day, you're hoping you go back into September 26th when these two teams will play again in Kelowna, and the Rebels will say, well, now we learned from that game, and we're going to learn from playing against the Raiders. We're going to learn from playing against the Rams. So you got to hope, really, if you're a Rebels supporter, that the Sun actually did the Rebels a favor today, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, because they came here and they rubbed your nose in it by 23 points. But as long as you learn, you got to fail before you succeed. So as long as you learn and figure out this little punt, this muffed punt here, this blown coverage on a kickoff there, the 4 chances for interceptions that we didn't take, if you can clean up those little aspects, then you don't have to put up with this in your home ballpark ever again, because the Sun right now are celebrating, and as they should. 46-23, it's resounding. So they're allowed to have their moment right now. But as long as the guys at the other end in red are going, that can never happen again. We can take care of business. We can get better. And we'll see.
So make the final 46-23, the Okanagan Sun over the West Shore Rebels. Again, the Rebels have a bye week next week before Battle of the Rock Part 2 on September 5th against the VI Raiders. We hope you either come down to Starlight Stadium or watch on BCFC TV. For Jay Longpre, I'm Tyler Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Until then, be excellent to each other. Good night.